Welcome, everybody. Welcome to 4-Star Chicago Sports. This is the Barely There podcast, and it's a sad day. Bears take a gut punch with the news of one of our key contributors announcing his retirement from professional football. We're going to get into that. We're going to try and find a replacement on the show today. We want to hear from you. Who's your replacement? Who you guys like? Talk to us, Goose. We got so much in this packed show. We're going to look at the safety situation, take a look at the rises and the fallers in this combine. We're going to have a blast for the next 2 hours. So come along and enjoy the ride. Let's go.
Windy City banners rocking 4 stars align. Dynasty dreams rise, Bulls in their prime. Cubs curse shattered, the victory divine. Fields be running, clock ticking on my timeline. Shot-town heroes, legends never fade. Black Hawks flying, cutting ice with the blade. White Sox diamonds, the Southside parade. 4 stars shine bright, legacies they made. Mike with the crown, air rain, no dispute. Sweetness in the backfield, Walter in pursuit. Bear down Sunday's midfield, battles cute. Chicago.
Welcome, everybody. Let's do this thing. Drew Dalman, what a kick in the balls, huh, boys?
Yeah, pretty low thing to do. I mean, unless he's like under imminent, definitely going to get an injury if he plays one more down. I don't agree with him retiring, but it's not my decision. It's his. So.
Yep.
Yeah, he just set the Bears back quite a bit there, man, and in multiple ways. We'll go over it as the show goes on here. But yeah, certainly, I can't say I hate the guy because I've never met him, but just quickly became one of my least favorite Bears of all time, especially since he retired from the Bears after signing a 3-year contract and only was here for 355 days, I think. So not even a full year, not even a full calendar year, and this guy decides to jump ship.
We're going to get right back into that. We're going to tackle a couple of things that are breaking in the news for today before we get back to the big headline, which is obviously Drew Dalman. We're going to stay tuned because the new league does start on Monday. Stacey Dales on the score just this afternoon said the buzz around the league is such that you better look out because Chicago has something brewing. They're just starting to scratch the surface with it. Caleb Williams developed a lot of believers around the league. The next big report, we're going to talk about all these things. I just want to get these out of the way. The next big report was the Giants are aggressively pursuing Tremaine Edmonds. This came from a Giants beat reporter, NFL insider, Rich Johnson. He said they're looking at him still as an extremely young, still full of lots of talent. There was a couple rumors today that there could be Tremaine Edmonds for Kayvon Thibodeau. It could be a straight up deal. I saw that running around. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not. I'm sure it's all speculation. Just telling you what I hear. And then we have Rich Johnson said he does expect the deal to get done before the new calendar year, which starts on Monday. So we may have some busy Bears. DJ Moore has once again hit the news as a potential 3-way trade between the Patriots, the Raiders, and the Bears. DJ Moore did come out today and put a post out. He's hearing the news. He knows what's going on. I might get a tear in my eye when I put this up, but he put it on his TikTok today. He said, if this is goodbye, Chicago, standing with his daughter, I'm probably in the doorway of his home. This absolutely sucks. This is a gut punch. I hate it. I'll say it until my face turns blue. I fucking hate losing DJ Moore if it does happen, but it seems like it is imminent. Boys, really quick on this Max Crosby thing. The Bears will be on the hook for about $116 million over the next 4 seasons. Crosby's entire base for 2026 is fully guaranteed. That's $30 million. His $29 million for 2027 is fully guaranteed as well on the third day of the 2026 league year, which is coming up in mid-March. So Chicago would roughly be locked into $59 million in pure guarantees. And guys, I'm just saying this because there's so much chatter right now around the league that Max Crosby's headed to Chicago. There's people putting up pictures like this of him in a Bears uniform. It's blowing up everywhere. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But talk to me, guys. What do you guys think of all this? These little tidbits that are coming out about the Chicago Bears and the Giants and Max Crosby and a 3-way deal and all this rigmarole.
How often have you seen a 3-way football deal?
Times are changing. Times are definitely changing.
They are, and that doesn't really mean much. It's not proof of anything. Look, it may very well happen, but I still don't think the contract's friendly to the Bears. I think if they do it, they literally cannot do any other moves in the free agent market. I think it's dumb, and I think the reason why everybody's talking about it is because they want it to happen, but they're not smart enough to think about what it means if it does happen.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I love Max Crosby. I love him to death. He's just too much. 2 years ago, we could have loved the guy. I would have taken him instead of Montez Sweat. Unfortunately, we can't spend $200 million. I'm sorry, 240, 50 million maybe on 3 edge rushers. I mean, guys, fans, put your brains to work here for a couple of minutes, please. For the love of God.
Yeah, it's hard to speculate. I don't know what is true and what is not. I mean, I have a feeling if there's a third team involved in this trade, like say the Raiders, or if they're bringing a team in that has a lot of salary cap space, I'm assuming they would probably be trying to dump Deo, and a team that can absorb his salary would probably be taking him on. But yeah, I mean, if they're just planning on straight up bringing, let's say it was a straight up trade DJ Moore for Max Crosby, I don't know how you can justify spending $250 million on your defensive ends, but I will say this, guys, if the Bears feel like they are one superstar away from a Super Bowl on the defensive side of the ball, which I don't believe, but if the Bears believe that they have a plan in place to make something like that happen and they're Max Crosby away from the Super Bowl, then I guess if you're the Bears, go get them. I mean, I don't know. It's just you're probably going to have to dump DJ Moore, right? You almost have to, right? Because you can't.
You have no choice.
There's no salary cap here, so DJ Moore would certainly be on his way out the door. So your offense is going to get a little bit worse unless you plan on replacing him with somebody else. I don't see how this becomes a Super Bowl team overnight with one trade, but if the Bears feel like they're that close, and Ben, Brian, these guys feel like they can win the Super Bowl every single year. I thought they could have won it last year, and they feel like they're that close. I wouldn't be surprised at all if you see Max Crosby in a Bears uniform come week 1. It would not surprise me, guys. And if you listen, Vegas isn't dumb, guys. They're not dumb. They're very good at what they do. They're good at creating odds, changing the odds of certain trades or works play. And in the last couple of days, the entire world is convinced that Max Crosby is going to be Chicago Bears. Something's happening.
Yeah,
something is happening.
I'll tell you this. I believe Stacey Dales, and I listened to her entire interview on the Score today. Jay, I know you listen to Score a lot. I don't know if you heard her in the afternoon.
I did.
Today. But she seems like the league is also goo gaga over Caleb Williams. Like, this guy set such an impression across the league that people want to come here and be with him. And obviously we've seen him and Max Crosby arm in arm, hip hugging, running around Chicago and wherever else they were doing the podcast and all this stuff. I'm with you, Jay. 100%.
The context of what she said when I listened to it was that the team thinks that the Bears are moving in the right direction and are going to do something good. I didn't hear her say Max Crosby.
She didn't say Max. She didn't say Max Crosby
during the whole interview.
She didn't say Max
everybody
Crosby.
assumed it's Max Crosby. Yeah, we got him, guys.
Her word was the buzz around the league is such that you better look out because Chicago's got something brewing and they're just starting to scratch the surface with it. Right. I don't know what that is. I hope it's something that's going to fill some of these gosh darn holes because we got more holes right now.
I don't think it's a move. I think they're saying the team is just scratching the surface of what they're capable of. That's what I think.
I look at it and say, I don't know what they're scratching the surface of because you have no linebackers, you have no safeties, you have an incomplete offensive line, you have no money under the cap. So if she's referring to Caleb Williams, he's just scratching the surface, I can understand that. But the pencil has to be sharpened and picked up by Ryan Poles here before the league starts this Monday and start figuring this stuff out like the Cowboys and the Chiefs just did, restructuring these big contracts, getting ready for the new league year. I'm very excited to see what happens from now until Monday. What Ryan
is it Wednesday?
Doing, what he's planning.
Isn't it Wednesday? I think it's a week from today.
Quick, Slimbo Boogie, thanks for joining the show.
It's next week sometime. I don't know what it ever. It's Monday or Wednesday. What's the difference? But
we appreciate you. Thanks for coming back, brother. He says Linderbaum center, Junie Jonah guards, tackles right, draft Proctor, sign running back ETN. I'm assuming 3-head monster ETN Swiftman on guy, trade DJ to Patriots for pick 31 to draft Proctor.
I mean that's a great dream scenario, but I don't know if we got room for three.
So Jay, the league does start next Wednesday. You can start negotiating and signing free agents on Monday.
Oh, that legal tampering, whatever they call it.
Legal tampering. So.
Which is basically the beginning of free agency, guys.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So basically, you got to have this figured out. You know, if you're going to trade DJ Moore, you got to trade him by Monday. If you're trading Tremaine Edmonds, you got to get him gone by Monday, because the Bears got to hit the. I mean, you guys, am I wrong? They got to hit this free agency.
When did they pull off that trade for DJ Moore and all that? When did they pull that trade off? Was it around this time that year?
Do you remember, Kyle?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean,
obviously it was before the draft.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was before free agency. I don't know, but I can't be. I don't know the exact date. Obviously before the draft. Yeah.
It's, to me, the combine is important because a lot of the GMs and the scouting guys are there, and the GMs are pretty much always the head scout, right? So that's where you're getting a lot of these guys talking, and unfortunately, it causes a lot of rumors. But we don't know until something officially happens.
Jason, it was March 10th of 2023 when they made the trade.
There you go.
Right, yeah, I mean, guys, they're going to do something. I can tell you this: before free agency opens, Tremaine Edmonds either he won't be on this team or he's walking, or they're cutting him because he's not going to be on the Bears next year. I can tell you that. So if they want to trade him, you better do it now.
Giants are interested. Give us whatever you want, dude. At this point, give us anything because we were going to get nothing from him.
Yeah, because I was just going to say that, Jay, a couple of weeks ago. I didn't think we were getting shit. I think we were just letting them walk.
Yeah, give me a fifth. Okay, great. See you later. I'll take it. But if they're aggressively going and the market keeps going up.
Now, let me ask you guys this. If it was, because I know we talked about this, and I think you guys correct me because I'm not sure. I can't remember what year Thibodeau was drafted. His contract's coming up. So would the Bears have him for 1 year if they did make the trade, still on his rookie deal? I haven't looked into it too much.
I believe, yes, because if he was a free agent, if he was going to become a free agent, why would you trade for him?
Yeah, I agree.
It wouldn't make any sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure
maybe
he's got 1 year left. Well, he was a first round pick, right?
Yeah.
So this might be the 5th year option.
I think maybe you just trade to make sure that no other team snakes you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I can think of. They think they have him, and then the Raiders swoop in and be like, "Here, they're giving you 16, we'll give you 18. Come here." You know what I mean? Now he's locked into your roster. I don't know. I'm pure speculation. I have no freaking idea.
Yeah, Chad, thanks for joining the show, man. I'm not entirely. The Bears can't cut Day and Grady. There would just be too much dead cap from those moves. It's almost impossible. I mean, I like the idea. I like what you're saying here. He says basically replace Day and Grady with Allen Hargraves. I mean, if I'm cutting Deo and Grady Jarrett, I'm not replacing with those guys because I think those guys are kind of similar to Deo and Grady Jarrett. But I wish the Bears were in a position where they could free up that salary cap because I just don't think Deo or Grady Jarrett are worth the money that they're getting paid. But they cannot be cut. They cannot be cut because you'd be eating a ton of dead cap. At this point, you might as well let them fill holes on the roster.
The only interior guy that you are the two reasonable cut candidates are one guy you just released, which is Billings, right? Andrew Billings is just not signed, so he can walk.
Yeah, he's free.
Honestly, I know they drafted him, but I'm not a really big fan of Drew Dexter. I don't think he's done a whole lot. Last year, I maybe heard his name like 3 times.
Oh, he's actually one of the top sackers at the defensive tackle position, but I think Drew Dexter would just be better suited in a rotational role. I think he's just not an every down player. I think the Bears I think he's proven that he's just not an every down player, and it sucks because he was a 2nd round pick, so you expect him to be so. But after 3 years now, guys, I think Drew Dexter is basically what we've seen, and he might get a little bit better if you give him some breathers here and there, and you get another defensive tackle here to kind of give some time off for Drew Dexter. But I think at this point he is what he is, man. I think he's a guy who's can get after the quarterback occasionally. He's not great against the run, and he's not a full-time starting defensive 3 technique in the NFL. He's not.
No, he needs a stud next to him that he can, shine to, but he's not the guy. He's never going to be the guy.
Yeah, Vizzo Joe says, let's all pray Dale retire. Yeah, why could it be Dale? Why do I have to call him?
Guys. So let's get into it. Obviously, the Bears were dealt a massive blow. The Bears did confirm just here on March 3rd that Dalman did retire from the NFL. Dalman credits his father, Chris Dalman, former NFL lineman and coach, for guiding his career and advising this decision. This is obviously, there are some answers in free agency for the Chicago Bears. What I got from Over the Cap, whether this is right or not, I'm hoping that it is. The Bears will have $10 million saved in the cap. They're going to have $4 million in dead. So, at least we're getting $10 million back towards the cap to try and fix this absolute devastating move by Drew Dalman. It just absolutely sucks. Kyle, we were talking the other day, every time Chicago gets something nice, we just can't keep it.
It's like a curse, man. Every time we feel like, all right, well, the Bears have a good offensive line. Oh, wait. Oh, we just lost our left tackle for maybe the rest of his career due to a ruptured patellar. That's all right. We can find a left tackle in the draft. Oh, sorry. Our 27-year-old stud center just retired. Like it's a Chicago Bears thing, man. I've never seen this happen. How the Patriots team was good for 20 years. Did you ever see anybody on the team retire under the age of 30? No.
Yeah.
Ozzie Trapillo may not be able to play again, and he's not retiring. I mean, dude.
I hate to say this, but a lot of Bears fans haven't let that sink into their brain, because when I've been putting up these draft profiles in the groups, I get a lot of feedback that says, we just need 1 year and Trapillo will be fine. It's like, guys, do some research on how severe this injury is. I'm not saying he's not going to come back. The stats tell you it's a rough road to recovery. And just because Ryan Poles said at the stadium he expects him to make a full recovery, yeah, I expect him to make a full recovery too. Walk like a human, on both legs, but play at a top-tier premier level with this injury.
The NFL and one of in the toughest league in the world.
Yeah,
it's literally, guys, it's 50-50 on whether or not he comes back and plays the same level. 50, it's 8.9% of the guys do not come back from this.
Yeah, it's brutal, man.
I hate to change the subject, man, but why does Drew Dalman look like a chunky Philip Rivers from last year?
I don't know. That's the picture from when he signed his Chicago Bears contract, dude. Mm-hmm. Oh,
yeah. Well, hey, good luck, Drew, getting a job somewhere else when you can't honor a contract. I think that goes over well with future job employers.
I mean, you saw what happened. You saw the way the NFL inked Le'Veon Bell when he took a year off, man. These are all friends, guys.
And I don't think Drew Dalman's coming back,
all buddies, man.
For one, he's Stanford educated, I believe. He made $20 million off the Bears last year. I'm sure he's reinvesting, and he's got some smart people moving his money around.
Bringing, I think, $9 million of it back, and I think $20 million he only made probably. Here's the thing: it's called the Barry Sanders rule. When I laughed when I heard that, teams can actually request and arbitrate a portion of the money back.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a guaranteed whatever, but if you think of it this way, if you made, let's say, $20 million. 3% of that goes to his agent. Another 10% went to Illinois, because guess where he lives and works is Illinois. And then he's got federal tax too. So over 40% of that was gone. Now the $9 million that the Bears can request back in total, that's pre-tax dollars. So if he already paid tax on it, he still owes the $9 million. This is quite possibly, for somebody who's really smart, the dumbest decision I've ever seen anybody make. It makes very little sense, because look, I'll be honest with you. I think if it was like, hey, my dad's really sick and I can't emotionally take it. The Bears would let him take a year off.
That's a different story.
Well, the Bears would let him take a year off. What, dude? They've done that before. Look what they did with Zach Miller when he basically almost lost his leg. They kept him on for the remainder of his contract. Look what they did with Johnny Knox, dude. That guy, his back bent in a 90-degree angle in the wrong direction, and the Bears, I think, paid off the rest of his contract too. It wasn't that big, but they treat their players pretty well. I know Olin Kreutz probably might not say that, and there's players that'll say they're terrible, but I mean, how many times do we see sporting team, these owners just shrug guys off? But the Bears have consistently tried to be there. I heard that Za Frazier, the rookie that they drafted. And if I'm wrong, I apologize. I don't want to put anything bad out there about him, but I already had 2 family members that got killed in a home invasion, and that's why he didn't want to play, because that's a huge thing to deal with, right? I get that. So if that's the case, he's still playing for the Bears. What? The Bears would have let you stay. And here's another thing, dude. All your medical benefits done after 5 years after today, right? Chances are teams are going to want you. If they do, you're going to be making league minimum. So your probably days of making money are over. Your insurance is done. You're 27. You don't need insurance right now, dude. Now that you're out in football, you're 27. You probably won't even go to the doctor. In 5 years, you're going to be 35. In another 10, you're going to be 45. That's when you're going to be going to the doctor a lot. You're not going to have health insurance. So I hope you had a good degree at Stanford, because it was probably communications. And I'll tell you what, nobody's going to want to, they're going to ask that question in every single interview for the rest of your life. You're going to have to answer that question. How come you can't honor a contract?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't want to speculate as what's going on, but I do agree with some of the people in the chat here. I mean, at least, like Slimbo Boogie says, you should at least give the fans a statement, man. You explain what was going on. It's only fair to the fans. I mean, first of all,
if you're ashamed to say why you did it, that means it's the wrong decision.
Well, and you set the Bears back in numerous ways. It's one thing people aren't talking about or thinking about is the fact that, the Bears signed a center last year, which was probably the best center in free agency, right? And he basically reset the market. Now, if you want to go after the best free agent center in the market in the NFL, you're going to have to pay him probably what, 5, 6, 7 million more than Drew Dalman got, because the market gets reset every year. The salary cap went up over $20 million again. These guys want more and more money. I mean, Drew Dalman set the Bears back in numerous ways, guys, numerous ways. And I think he owes it to the fan base. It's just coming off one of his best seasons ever, a Pro Bowl season. He owes it to the fan base to come out and tell us exactly why he's doing what he's doing. And listen, he doesn't have to go if it's like some terrible medical details. I'm not expecting you to dig into them. Just say, hey, right. Man, right now my father has health issues. I want to be by his side. He's going to pass away in the coming year. I want to be by his side. I think it's more important than football. Sure, cool, but at least let the fans know, man. Because right now, I think he's Chicago public enemy number one. I think everybody in Chicago absolutely despises Drew Dalman. And at this point, it's almost justifiably so, right? I mean, listen, I understand it's just football, but this fan base has been starving for a Super Bowl since 1985, 1986, and we finally felt like we got some continuity in the offensive line. We had one of the best offensive lines in football, the second best rushing game in football, and now you have to start from scratch with the Caleb Williams center relationship. It's gonna take 6, 7, 8 weeks for Caleb to get used to his new center. It just sucks, man. It was a giant kick in the nuts to Chicago Bears fans. The worst thing that possibly. I think it's one of the. I mean, you guys tell me what player on the Bears would be more impactful retiring than Drew Dalman?
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, that's it. Right? That's it, right?
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much.
Maybe Colston Loveland. That's probably it. Probably those 3 guys. Even if Joe Thuney retired, like he's better than Drew Dalman. But he's 33 years old. Like it'd be like it makes sense. You'd be like, well, I mean, he's old. Maybe his knees are bothering him. This guy's 27 years old.
Kyle, we were talking about this last night. What's the most recent comp? And that's Frank Ragnow, right? He retired because I think his body was literally just not working anymore.
Yeah, he was like, 34, I think.
And then the Detroit tried to make him come back. They asked him to come back, and he still couldn't pass the physical. So he literally couldn't play anymore.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I totally respect that, and I understand it. And you know what? Maybe there's something that's going on with Drew Dalman that we would all respect and understand, but it would help a lot more if he would tell us.
Like, hey, man, I can't take one more hit. I know I don't have concussions, but the doctors say one good hit in the head and I will permanently have CTE and I'm going to be a vegetable in 10 years. Oh, shit. Okay, man. I'm sorry, dude. Yeah.
It would still
easy there, Steve.
It would still suck all the same, but at least you'd have some understanding, right? You'd be like, well, I get that. That makes sense. Like, dude, if you can't play with your kids anymore because you're one hit away from having brain damage, I totally understand that. But for him to just be like, hey, Chicago, peace, I'm out, take it easy. And we never even get an explanation, or wouldn't you think that Drew Dalman owes that to the city of Chicago? We just give you $20 million, bro, to play football.
Yeah,
you can't come out and tell us why you retire.
But yeah, I'll never root for the guy again.
It's a very frustrating situation, but every time you get questions, you got to find some answers, right? I know Luke Newman's on this roster, and he looked pretty good in his spare time. But I'm with the chat. I think a couple of people said that. Ben Johnson wants a veteran. I think Caleb Williams wants a veteran. I, as a fan myself, want a veteran. And there's some good veterans available here. You got the big expensive toy in Linderbaum. You got Connor McGovern, and you have Tyler Biadasz. Now, I'm going to give you my personal favorite of the bunch. I know everyone's Linderbaum. Guys, the Bears can't afford Linderbaum. Number one, you have an extension. A big, hefty extension coming up for Warren Darnell Wright. You're already paying Joe Thuney $17.5 million. You're going to have to pay a left tackle. Maybe you get a rookie, and that becomes cheap, or have to wait and see. But you're talking about $20 million over here, $20 million over here, $20 million. You're going to put $75 million into your offensive line. You're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs right now. The Kansas City Chiefs are cutting their talent because they had too much money invested in the offensive line. Why Jawan Taylor is being cut from that roster right now? You can't afford it. The Bears are not I would be shocked. I can't say they won't because I don't know what they're doing in LSL, but I will be shocked if the Bears play $22 to $25 million for Linderbaum, a guy coming off his worst year as a pass protector, gave up 25 pressures, the most in his career, and this guy's acting like he had a solid gold year. He's an amazing run blocking center, but his pass pro is not. The guy I like right here on this list would be Connor McGovern for two reasons. The 6'5", 318-pounder was Josh Allen's center for the past 2 years, running a very similar system to what Ben Johnson runs for the Chicago Bears. A good zone scheme center, solid in pass pro. His numbers were actually a little bit higher than Dalman in pass pro last year. This is the guy for me. His contract would be friendly for the Chicago Bears, not break the bank, and I still think you get positive returns out of that center position right away. Where are you guys at for a replacement?
I'm always thinking about the future now because how many rebuilds have the Bears been through? This is the first one where I actually believe we're rebuilding something that's worthwhile, right? So, the biggest problem for me with these big name free agents that want all the money in the world is that we have a quarterback that's going to get like the top contract quarterbacks ever probably gotten before in 2 to 3 years. So too many guys on that roster that are going to be too expensive isn't going to allow for that to happen. That's why our window is here. But if we're smart with our cap, and I love Connor. I think he's great. There's two other guys too. There's the guy from Carolina. They all have fairly similar, PFF rankings and pass blocking and run blocking. I think though they're good stopgaps because you can get them for maybe 2 years, 3 years tops, mid-level expense. But they're still responsible for calling out all those protections. It's going to be really hard this is why, Caleb wants a veteran because he doesn't have to worry too much about the protections. But, I think you draft one. I think you sign one of these mid-level guys and then draft one. And I think the combination of Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson and Darnell Wright, and hell, even our left tackles that we put in there, it's still a pretty decent line coached by a really good offensive line coach and a very good offensive coordinator / head coach. So I would definitely go with Connor, or like I said, that kid from Carolina. Byard might be still a little expensive, but he's okay too. I just don't want to sign one of these guys to a super long contract for a lot of money. And I know it's a center, but I think we still need to worry about building in the draft. And Luke Newman's more of a guard than a center, so I'm not sure he's the answer there. And honestly, Rochar actually said we don't really have very many answers outside of our starting lineup.
I was actually going to download that for the show today, and I completely forgot about that, Jay. I had that whole little 2-minute interview with him, and gosh darn it, damn it.
Well, he was specifically talking about the tackle because Dalman had not retired at that point.
Yeah, he had not retired.
I think you find a stopgap and draft, and I think we still need to draft in the left tackle. Even if, we have somebody on the roster that's serviceable, I still think we just keep drafting until we hit on one, man. We have to. And honestly, next year, draft a couple of guards because those guys aren't getting any young either.
Yeah, if I had to pick out of these three, first I will say it sucks to losing Drew Dalman, but this is a pretty good free agent class for centers. Those three guys right there, none of those three guys right there are scrubs by any means necessary. They can all play. They all still play at a pretty high level. Obviously, if you're thinking about keeping a guy here long term and you're looking at youth, Linderbaum is probably the best choice. But for me, guys, personally, Sean, I have to disagree with you. I like Byard the most because the Bears are going to be a run-heavy team. That's what they want. Ben Johnson, you know what he wants to do. He did it in Detroit. He did it last year in Chicago, second best rushing unit in the NFL. They want to run the ball. And Byard has great run blocking numbers. I know his pass blocking is not as good as what's the guy you were talking about, Sean?
Connor McGovern?
Yeah, McGovern, but it's not a huge drop-off. It's not an astronomical drop-off. So if the Bears are looking for a guy who can continue to be successful in the run game, a guy like Drew Dalman, Tyler Byard to me is the best option. And I think he's not going to be that expensive. What's his cap asking for, Sean? $10 million a year?
Yeah, both of these guys are going to be right around there. Byard and McGovern are both affordable for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, you're basically paying them. You're basically paying them the money that Drew Dalman just gave you back. That's basically what you're going to be giving. It's almost
the four guys that are below Linderman or whatever, Linderbaum. they're all around that like $10 to $12 million mark, somewhere in there. They're all very affordable.
If Linderbaum's really asking for $25 million a year with that pass protection grade, no thanks, man. Go somewhere else. I think I think what he's doing is shooting for the moon and hoping that somebody settles right below it. If that guy thinks he's really worth $25 million a year, I don't want him anywhere near Chicago. But I think Biadasz would be really good, like Jason said, a really good stopgap, a guy who could kind of be a bridge to, if you draft a center, you develop him. We know that the Bears are not in a position right now, guys, where they could draft a rookie center and expect him to start from day one. It just takes too much time to develop these guys, and Caleb is not a fully finished product. He's still developing. You need to give him a veteran presence in front of him, somebody who can identify the defense. And I think Tyler Biadasz would fit great. Sean, I'm not saying McGovern would be a bad choice. I'm all about running the ball, especially when you have such a young team with a young quarterback. Run the ball as much as you possibly can. Take as much weight off his shoulders as you possibly can. And Biadasz just is damn good run.
And that's kind of why I favored McGovern, because nobody ran the ball more than the Bills. And they run a very similar zone scheme to Ben Johnson. That's kind of why I lean that way. Not because he was a Bill, and you guys know I love the Bills. I just love the system that he's coming from. I think he's a plug and play. And I'm with, if they sign Tyler Biadasz, I would not be upset about that either. I like all these guys. I just, my bitch and stink before they signed Dalman was, I want a veteran center on this team. I still want a veteran center back on.
Yeah, I think you have to have one. To me, of all the positions in the NFL, the center might be the most important when it comes to experience. Like a guy who is he's gotten used to the NFL defenses. He's gotten used to identifying the blitzes, used to identifying these defensive schemes. I'm fine. Like Jason said, you want to draft a center? Sure, go ahead, man. But you should definitely have somebody here to start in the meantime while that center is being groomed and getting used to the NFL speed and the NFL game. It's just a completely different game than the collegiate level. Sean, I'm with you, man. Even Linderbaum, like if they could get him for cheaper than he's asking, like if they can get him for $14 million a year, I'm all for it. But the reason he's the least favorite on this list is solely because of the $25 million salary. If he was being realistic and asking for so much less than that, I would like him too. I like any of the three of these guys. It just sucks either way, man, because either way you're gonna have to develop some continuity between Caleb Williams and this new center. It sucks. Drew Dalman hurt them badly.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to find a guy who's not just snapping the ball. You got to find a guy who's directing traffic, controlling the interior during the play. I mean, he's
responsible for identifying coverages.
This is such a huge guy, man. A communicator, a protection adjuster, a good interior run game engine. This is what Dalman was. And God damn, this is so frustrating, man. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating.
I mean, did you guys think in a million years that one of our shows in the offseason would be talking about adding a center in free agency? No. I mean, what a joke. What an absolute joke, man. For once in our lives, or at least since the 80s, the Bears finally put together a pretty damn good offensive line, and here we are. Now we're like, of the 5 players in the offensive line, we need 2 again. I feel like it's every year, man. Every year. This is why
this one isn't the Bears' fault, though.
No, neither of them are. Neither is Ozzie Trapillo. But this is why. 25, I've said on Monday, and a lot of people in the chat got mad at me because they want defense. I am totally fine with selecting a left tackle 25 and just getting it out of the way for once and for all, because it's just getting old, man. We've been talking about the left tackle in Chicago for 20 years. Like, guys, just go get a left tackle, the guy who's most important to blind or guarding your quarterback's blind side. And it just sucks because now here we are, like, well, man, we'll go get a center too. Like, what a joke! What an absolute joke! Like, it just sucks. Heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking.
Extremely frustrating when you look at it and just say, "Man, this line was the strength last year for this football team, and now all of a sudden we're all scratching our head right back where we were last offseason, and it's just another kick in the balls." And Kyle, to the point of the left tackle position, maybe Caden Proctor will fall there. But it looks like, from what I'm reading, I mean, I watched as much of the combine as I can. And Monroe Freeling destroyed the fucking combine last week. He probably jumped his stock out of the Bears range, man. And that kind of sucks because I thought that dude was going to fall right to the Bears and be like, that was the guy you could take. Now, I don't know. I don't know, because I'm personally not the hugest fan of Caden Proctor. But if he's a Bear, I'm going to root for him. I mean, he's a massive man.
Real quick, let's get to some of these chats, guys. Ant Mass asks, can Karan play center or is he too big? He's supposed to be a smart Yale kid. I wouldn't go into the season just expecting Karan to be a damn good center. I mean, if that's your solution, you better have a backup plan. And then do you guys disagree with that?
I would probably be looking at Luke Newman first.
Yeah. And
on the roster.
Me too. First of all Karan's proven to us since he's been here is he can't stay healthy. I mean, that's your best ability is availability, and
they drafted him for a tackle anyways. Not a guard.
Yeah, he has absolutely none of it. And then Mikey says last season our two biggest needs were left tackle and center. I feel like I have PTSD. Yeah, it's back in the same boat we were last year. And the Bears did everything right. They went and got the best center available in free agency. It was I think he was the first person to sign in free agency, wasn't he? Drew Dalman?
I think he was.
They got the best guard and then the best center, and then signed a really great serviceable right guard. I mean, it was one of the a feather in the cap of Ryan Poles. I mean, great move after great move, and then you draft a Chapillo kid. Everything's great now, not so much. But this is why we've preached, and a lot of people do. It's not like we're the only ones that do, about depth, and that's one thing this team lacks everywhere except for probably wide receiver. Depth.
I'm with Slim Boogie here, man. Kyle, this is what we were talking about last night, dude. I'm done with the 2 to 4 years from now, dude. We got a window right now, and again, and I don't want to turn this into beating up Ryan Poles, but Ryan Poles' failure to draft to start his career with the Chicago Bears is the reason why the Bears are still set back, and they don't have depth on this team. They just don't, and it's unfortunate. And hopefully it will continue to improve like it did last year because the draft was a smashing success. Hopefully he can start stacking some of these because it's the only way you're going to have a successful future.
Well, what sucks, guys?
These drafts.
What sucks, guys, is with Luke Newman and Theo Benedict, I think they did have some decent depth. Finally, I think they did because your starters were Fozzie Chapillo and Drew Dalman. It's just there's so many curveballs the NFL throws at you, and you just don't know how to respond. But all I can say is I hope the Bears were a field goal away from the NFC title game last year. I hope that Ryan Poles is learning on the job. I hope he has another bang out draft like he did last year. The Bears won the best draft in the NFL last year. Hopefully, if they could just repeat that again and again and again, and by the time you're paying Caleb Williams, this team should be a damn good team with a deep roster and should be competing for a Super Bowl. Sean, you've said it 100 times. I don't disagree with you. If you want to know if Ryan Poles is a good GM, you're going to find out.
We're going to find out right now.
We're going to find out.
Yeah, it's just, man, it's just like, I don't know, man. I can't even do this, man. I'm just so upset about this. But again, we do have a draft coming up. So I wasn't really looking at offensive players too much as we've been talking about defensive players over the past few weeks. But I did dive into a couple of centers. And obviously you go to a place where centers are rich. And that usually rich, and Tyler Linderbaum just came from there a couple of years ago. You're looking at Iowa, and Iowa happens to have a gentleman by the name of Logan Jones, who had a very, very good RAS score, 9.56 at the combine this weekend. Looked very, very good.
It's a really small center.
He is small, but he don't play that way. I'm trying to get this up there.
No, I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying, like, they're just looking at the numbers. That's a small guy for an interior offensive lineman. They say he's just over 6 foot. Is that what it said?
Yeah. He 616 pass blocks last year, 1 sack allowed, 8 pressures, 87.6 pass block. He was the team leader, 4-year starter, exceptional at blocking at the second level. 2025, he had a 90.7 pass block grade and allowed 3 pressures last year. He flew. He was the fastest lineman at the draft, 4.91 for an old lineman, which is freaking insane. His lower body turns in the run game, powerful hands pad level, got better each year. 6th-year senior, a negative for him. That's a negative for him being a 6th-year senior, a little bit older. Average anchor versus power. Just a guy. I personally like Iowa centers. They've had success with not only centers, but offensive linemen in coming out of there. The other guy that I looked at, and I know there's a list of centers that are going to be in the draft this year. Brian Parker, Connor Liu, Logan Jones, Jake Slaughter, Sam Heck, Tyler Zahn. The next guy I want to talk about is Parker Bracelford, Matt Gubelbin, however you say that name. Pat Coogan and Jaeger Burton. This Jaeger Burton guy, he's pretty interesting. But Parker, before we move on, Parker obviously not having a strong RAS score, not the most athletic individual in the world. But on film, he looks like a hoss, moving people around. Big dude. He seems pretty athletic, getting off the line. Quick first step there, as you can see. The film doesn't lie. So there are going to be some options here for the Bears in this draft. You know, he's a 9 foot. He had a 9 foot 10-inch broad jump, was tied for 5th best all time at the position. 6'2", 290 pounds. He just allowed 2 sacks in 3 years as a starter. He excels at pre-snap processing. As I stated, watching that beginning of that clip, quickness off the snap, high effort blocker, great blocker on the move. He's on the Feldman freak list for his 33-inch vertical. He hit the time of 19.47 miles per hour on the GPS. He bench pressed 505 pounds, one of the highest at the combine. 17 career penalties is a knock on him, lack of ideal size at that 6'2", 290, inconsistent anchor at times, and doesn't create a lot of displacement as a run blocker. He's projected as a 3rd or 4th round pick. So if the Bears are looking for a couple people here in this draft, there's a couple of names. There's 10 out there. Like I said, on average, if you go to the NFL draft, which I just kind of put this together today, they said on average 8 centers get drafted per year. Maybe the Bears will be in that fold. Jay, did you have somebody, a center for the Chicago Bears?
I do, and he's probably going to go undrafted or a late round pick. But I'm gonna. I don't want to say. I'll just read.
Hold on.
Just read
Do I know him? Hold on. Do I know him?
You probably do.
So, is he from a school in Illinois?
Yes.
I knew it.
Oh no, dude! Is his name on your wall?
Part of his name is.
Yeah.
Here, I'll say this, Jay. I just read something about this gentleman that said he is a rising star. So go ahead, take it away, brother.
So not unlike his father, former Chicago Bears center Olin Kreutz, Josh is tough, technically proficient, and more athletic than he may appear to be. He ran actually a sub 5.40. He's like 6'2", 290 pounds. He's the anchor of Illinois' offensive line. He is physical with quick hands, has an explosive first step off the snap. He thrives in run blocking, showing his lateral agility on pull blocks and zone runs. Zone runs, anybody? Mm-hmm. Arguably even more effective as a straight ahead or seal blocker. He neutralizes defenders, keeping them out of running lanes or pushing them most of the time out of plays altogether. In pass blocking situations, he sees stunts and twists, has excellent hand counters for spins and swims, and is a guard's best friend in help. Although run blocking is a greater strength, he still is a plus pass blocker. Most importantly, he is the embodiment of consistency, having started 25 straight games, offering the Illini a tremendously steady presence at the offensive line position. So he redshirted his freshman year. His sophomore year, I believe he was a redshirted his freshman year, sophomore year, played special teams, and then 23, 4, and 5 were his starting seasons at Illinois at center. And the team did get markedly better. And there was actually a couple other linemen that were at the combine that you probably saw run. I think 2 of them, both of them slower, and both of them had multiple games with lower PFF scores than Kreutz had. Now, I know he's not a top-end guy, and it's funny to see, but, there's probably not too many great centers that are go, in the first round or second round. So we're probably looking at like 3rd or 4th round grades on most of these guys. And I don't know how much room we got because we have so much more work, which is why I brought up the fact that if we get Connor out of Buffalo or Biotish, those are good stopgaps for 2 years while we train this new kid. And I know, I think Slim, you said, well, tired of talking about 2 years, but we still need to develop guys for the future. We can't just forget about that and just say, hey, let's just work on this year and let's forget about the future. Because I don't want just 1 year, right? I don't want one good year. I want dozens of good years back to back. And it's very possible because there's plenty of the teams that do it every single year. It's just not the Bears. So if you want to keep that philosophy and say, hey, I just want one Super Bowl right now, this is our window, it's bullshit. Because how big was Kansas City's window? Was it only 3 years? I don't think so. I think it was a little bit longer than that, right? Because they got the right quarterback. When you have the right quarterback, your window is as long as he's on your team. That's the window. And it's not just one. You don't play the game to win just one and say, we're going to take it easy the rest of our lives. This is why I think this kid under, by the way, one of the greatest offensive line coaches that isn't like coaching for a team right now, his father, Olin Kreutz, the kid played 25 straight games and got better. And if you look at his stats and his numbers, it literally just progresses, getting better and better and better and better. I think he's something that if you wanted to maybe pass on one of those early centers because you do need a tackle or you do need an edge rusher, then maybe late in the rounds, 6th round, 7th round, you pick him up. And if in 2 years he turns out to be a stud, you guys can laugh all you want. But I'm willing to bet that if he gets signed or even picked up as an undrafted free agent by the Bears, there's going to be not just his coaches teaching him, but his dad teaching him, telling him not to disappoint the family name. That's all I got to say about the kid. He's not going to probably go in the draft, but I'm telling you, something to consider.
With the draft profile and the name on his jersey, I'm kind of surprised he wouldn't be at least considered to be drafted to the 4th, 5th, or 6th round, man. I mean,
his brother, who's a linebacker on Illinois, I think is a bigger recruit for next year.
I've looked at all the centers in the draft. I mean, I haven't done any deep dives or anything, but you're right about one thing, Jason. There really isn't any center projected to go in the first 2 rounds in the NFL draft. These guys are all pretty much equivalent. They're all expected to go around 3, 4, 5. If you're willing to be patient and you're willing to sit on this guy for a couple of years and develop him and let the game slow down for him a little bit, let him get used to identifying blitzes and defensive schemes, I'm all for it, man. Why not?
Kyle, you said it. The reason why is because it's so hard to just start a center. It's really hard.
I think it's the toughest position of football. I do. I think both the interior lines, defense and offense, are the toughest positions to just start week 1 as a rookie, because even the defensive tackles we see that are drafted early that are projected to be studs, most of them usually struggle their rookie season. Most of them do. And it's the same for centers. Even the studs outside of like the once in a generation guys, most of them struggle their rookie season. They're going to have the centers' careers are exactly what somebody learning a new game or in a new league are. Their first year is usually the worst of their career, almost always.
Right, and you could probably say that's true for all rookies. There's, of course, the freak athletes that just come out and
unless you're Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, the sophomore year was garbage.
Yeah,
you know what
garbage.
I mean? But look, you could. There's guys that are freak athletes that are going to come in any sport and just do well. But they're all, even the quarterbacks that come in and do well. It's not like Jaden Daniels broke every single record there ever was. He just had kind of like lightning in a bottle. You know what I mean? I'd rather see a guy like a Caleb or even like Caleb's whole year. All those quarterbacks are all going to be studs for the future. By the way, they're all, I think, great quarterbacks, and it's good for the league. But man, I think you have to develop one, and if you're going to develop one, why bother drafting him in the 2nd round? Use that capital on a better player.
Well, what it is about the center position for me personally is, most of these guys can make a living and learn how to play a sport based off of their athletic ability. The center there's so much he has to do mentally. There's so much he has to know, and he has to have a higher football IQ than most of the guys on the field. Like, your defensive end, they're like, hey, go get the quarterback. You're a kick returner, punt returner. They're like, hey, run in a straight line and score a touchdown. Your center, they're like, hey, identifies this blitz. Make sure you watch that linebacker's sneaking up. Tell the quarterback if the safety's playing deeper. Like, there's just so much they have to do, and they have to build such a good rapport with the quarterback. I think that's why it takes a long time for these guys to really get going at center. But I'm with you, man.
There's 2 silverback gorillas frothing at the mouth, ready to punch you in the face,
ready to you're looking across from Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, and this is your first, 2nd game in the NFL. That's tough, man. I'm with you guys, man. I think you need a veteran center. I think it's very important to the development of Caleb Williams, and like I said, I don't believe he's a finished product, but I would 100% draft one at some point in this draft, and hope by the time that your bridge player, the guy you signed, let's say it's Biotish or McGovern, by the time you move on from them and you can't pay them anymore because you got to pay Caleb Williams, that Kreutz, whoever you decide to draft or pick up as an undrafted free agent, is ready to go.
I'll tell you what, that first kid you had there, Sean, dude, his first like 4 or 5 blocks in those highlights were off the screen. He blocked one guy into, I think, the stands.
Yeah, Logan Jones looks like he might be something.
That's the type of guy that I think Ben Johnson would love. Just violent, strong, and angry and smart. I mean, that's like literally the quadrifecta, if you will.
And I don't know if you guys had a chance to look up Bobby Okery switching to the linebacker position really quick. He's going to be released by the Giants here. Bears got to find some cheap places because it doesn't look like TJ Edwards and Noel Sewell, either of them, will be ready for the beginning of the year. You have Tremaine Edmonds about to possibly be traded. So now you have no safeties. You have no linebackers. Again, this is just
is no Sewell for you, Jim?
That I don't know. I don't think so, though. I don't think so.
Left on that contract. If I'm the Bears, I'm cutting Noah Sewell. I mean,
he's a depth piece, the best. Yeah, you're right.
He's a special teamer who, if you're in a really tough situation, you could probably fill in for a couple. But everybody was gung ho about Noah Sewell when he came on the Bears when he started starting last year. I don't think he played very well at all. As a matter of fact, there was a couple situations in certain games where Noah Sewell lost the Bears the game by missing tackles or just being too slow to get to the edge. For me personally, I'm not a huge fan of Noah Sewell, and if you can save money by cutting him off this roster, that's what I would do.
It is not his brother.
DeMarco Jackson is completely opposite. I think that guy serves a purpose. I think he plays very fast. He plays faster than his 40 time. I think he's certainly a guy I'd keep here. He's got a relationship with Dennis Allen. He fits in this defense. I think he played much better than people give him credit for. I think he is a starter in the NFL. Maybe not in the Bears, maybe somewhere else, but he's a guy I would consider trying to keep here if the money works out, if the deal works out. Obviously I wouldn't be paying DeMarco Jackson $6-7 million a year, but if you can get him here for a couple $1 million a year, I'd keep him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Sean, you got some breaking news here from Relentless Mikey. Something you're probably interested in, I'm assuming. Blackhawks trade Dickinson and Colton Dock.
Now the purge has begun on the west side with the Chicago Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks are going to top 2 pick in the draft for like 12 years in a row, bro.
Yeah, but then you see like other teams. Oh, there's Artemi Panarin. Oh, that guy's good. I wonder where he was drafted from. Keep getting rid of all these guys. Great, just to get one good one. I mean, I don't know. Whatever. That's a topic for another show.
Steve says, to be honest, I hope the Bears draft Price at 25. Price is exceptional, but them taking Price at 25 with the running game they already have and with the multiple major needs, go ahead. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if they did. I mean, if you feel like you can't fix the defense in one offseason, Steve, then you just build in one offseason, you build an offense that's unstoppable. That's what you do. And I think that's what Ben Johnson plans on doing here. The Bears averaged 26, 27 points a game last season. I think he wants that to be closer to 30, 31, 32.
Yeah. And again, I think you got to get some veterans, but you got to hit on this draft this year and get a nice mix because the money's tight. But you gotta hit this draft, man. You gotta have contributions like you did from your draft last year. You got to do it again this year because, again, when you look at the success of successful teams in the NFL, their rookies are generally contributing day one. They're not developed. They're ready. So you got to draft smarter, draft better. Cooper DeJean, that whole secondary, Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean as rookies, we were all sitting there like, these are rookies? These dudes were – you couldn't pass on them because these 2 rooks came in. I mean, the Bears have to – the scouting department has to nail these guys.
Yeah.
Keep people on the field like safe.
Sean, I'm glad you brought them up because Slimbo Boogie says he wants Reed Blankenship at safety. No, you don't, man. Do yourself a favor. Go dig into the numbers. Reed Blankenship is probably the worst option available in free agency. I have it written down here real quick. Give me a second, guys. But Reed Blankenship, I think he was by PFF. And I know, listen, PFF is not the end-all be-all. But when you're ranked 92 out of 98 in the NFL starting safeties or safeties who got enough playing time, that is not good. That is not good. And if you ask me, Reed Blankenship, if it wasn't for him, the Eagles could have been in the conversation for one of the best defenses in NFL history. But he was constantly their Achilles heel, man. He was constantly the handicap. Every time they felt like they could get the defense off the field, Reed Blankenship would give up a massive pass play. He's not good. He's not good.
Yeah. And he's asking for the most money on the market.
Yeah.
So
Sean Chad says draft Monroe Freeland, so he agrees with you.
You know what? I would love to draft Monroe Freeland. Unfortunately, he's not going to be there after what he just did at this. I mean, right after the combine, the that started coming out, he was in the top 15. So
James Christo says, must trade for Chris Jones, must sign the best center in free agency. This must be a Super Bowl year. I think the Chiefs believe that they are 100% capable of winning the Super Bowl this year, and I don't think they have any plans of letting Chris Jones go anywhere because I think their window is certainly still open, like Jason said. J2K says, or he's responding to, we'll skip that one. Flex Diggs says, Dalman thought it was good, better rest. Completely missed the point of the rallying cry there. It is heartbreaking, guys. Like, listen, I don't want to make this a show where we all just pile on Drew Dalman because obviously we don't know the situation, but it really, the way he left was a really shitty way to leave the Chicago Bears and this fan base. I think all the fan base was asking was just an explanation. I think that's all they wanted. Like you said, all three of us agreed that if he's got some injury problems or some terrible family dire needs, sure, but just tell us, man. Just tell us, man.
But again, a bad family thing, I'm telling you, the Bears would have told him to just take a year off and come back.
What's up, Cliff? Where have you been, brother?
And you know what? If he comes out and says, the guys, I need to take a year off because my father, he's passing away, all the Bears fans would be like, no problem. And then you come back and you do good again. And I'll tell you what, you'll be loved more than anybody in the city ever if you do that. But instead, you tell people you want to leave. You screw over your team and your friends, your teammates. Forget about the organization. He's screwing over that entire offensive unit that he just spent an entire year with. Man, it's rough, dude. It's rough.
Yeah. Steve says the Packers are cutting Elton Jenkins. You guys can have him at center if you want. Yeah, no thanks.
No
thanks.
There is a guy on the Packers I wouldn't mind signing, and that seems to be a guy by the name of Quay Walker. How do you guys feel about Quay Walker coming to the Chicago Bears?
I like him. I don't think he lived up to his draft hype, but I think he's probably better than Packers fans give him credit for. What's up, Lauren? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining the show, brother.
What's up, Lauren?
Yeah, I mean, Sean, like you said it earlier. You're not, the Bears can't sign the best player available at every position. It's somewhere you're going to have to make sacrifices, and it sucks because Bears fans are so used to having the best linebackers in the NFL, but right now, I think you have to focus on the offensive line and that defensive line. So if you're going to have to sign somebody to bargain price, I'm all for Walker. And listen, I'm not saying he's bad and he's going to be cheap, but he's certainly not going to be one of the best. He's not one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
I'll say this really quick, J2K, when it comes to Quay Walker, and you say he's too inconsistent. He's too inconsistent on the Packers with that coaching staff. Let's get him with our coaching staff and fix what's wrong. We watched it happen last year with a number of players on this roster that underperformed under the last regime. This regime is way better and has the way of getting the best out of players. We saw it last year because, man, that defense.
They built everything out of that defense.
Yeah, like I mean, you've seen it. I mean, here, and I'm with you. He was inconsistent on Green Bay, but sometimes a change of scenery and better coaches can bring out what's supposed to be in you. And that's an all-pro.
Yeah, real quick, guys. We at one point had over 50 in the building here. Please, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. If you guys are watching on Facebook or Twitter, please go over to our YouTube page and hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate you guys. Another thing we didn't talk about when it comes to the Bears center position is the one thing that is a positive for the Bears is I believe they have the best offensive line coach in all football. So if they do go get one of these guys in free agency, I think it won't take long for Dan Rocher to get him. And now that Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson have already been here, at least your center you're signing is coming here and he's going to play in between two of the best guards in all the NFL. I mean, it should be an easier transition than it was last year because last year none of these guys played together. None of them. Nobody played each other.
Maybe you think about it, and I don't think this is the route the Bears are going to go. I like Luke Newman and I like what I saw, but if it happened to be Luke Newman sitting between those two guys, I think you feel decently good about it.
Yeah, not great, but I mean, comfortable enough that it'll be serviceable for this year. I don't think he's a long-term answer, but maybe he is. You never.
Yeah, and just real quick.
Froze there, Jay.
Just real quick to who in the chat was talking about Blankenship. Last year, Blankenship had one interception.
He froze. Silence.
I'd be okay with it, but then we still have no depth. Like we still got to draft guys. We still got to bring a guy in. I still think we bring in one of these mid-level, centers, these journeymen. A couple of these guys are still like 27, 28 years old, so they're not old by any means. But you still get them in their prime, and hey, get them in there learning, get some new kids, some young kids in there learning behind Rochar and Tooney and, Ben Johnson. Get these guys in here. The new running backs coach I hear is a stud too. So let's get a young kid.
Is he a Studsville?
Hold on. Where's the ching?
Real quick, just
prepared for it.
Just to move on from the Blankenship conversation. Yeah, Simple Boogie. He also last year had one pass breakup, one interception, one pass breakup. That is not enough for a safety. That put him in last place of all the free agent safeties available. One pass breakup. You got as a safety, you got to have more than one pass breakup, guys. That's insane.
When you talk about this defense and you talk about the safeties and what you're looking for, the specific traits that you want to see in a running back in these guys, there's two: a disruptor and a stabilizer. Last year, your disruptor was Jaquan Brisker, and your stabilizer was Kevin Byard, the guy who went back, took away explosive plays, guarded the back while Brisker came up, run support, did all the dirty work. And Kyle, this is why I was saying Nick Cross at 4 years, $24 million, opposed to, and I know Bears fans probably aren't going to be happy about this, opposed to Kevin Byard, because you have a 25-year-old who would be now going under Al Harris, who, if you go on Twitter and go to Indianapolis Colts fans right now, they are pissed that this guy is leaving. And when you look at Nick Cross, yes, his coverage grade was a 50. He was terrible. But what he's asked to do, pass rush and run defense, 72 grade, 69 grade. They were both better than Jaquan Brisker. So you're getting younger, you're getting better, you're replacing him. He's not going to be asked in coverage that much. That's going to be your responsibility.
I just don't like the missed tackle rate, Sean. That's what scares me. I know he's probably something that if he wants to
get the guy averages 130 tackles a year.
I know, but he was also ranked near the back of the pack in terms of missed tackles. How many missed tackles? I think he had like 20 missed tackles last year. Sean, I'm not saying first of all, I'm not saying he's bad. Second of all, I'm not saying that's not something he can correct. Like you just said, maybe he just needs to change scenery and better coaching.
He's the last guy that should not be missing a tackle.
Yeah, I just don't like the missed tackle rate when he's like kind of like the last line of defense before somebody hits the end zone. Now listen, Sean, he could easily probably fix that. He's 25 years old. This is probably a guy who's only getting better, right? Their prime is usually between 24 and 28, 29 years old. So he probably hasn't played his best football in the NFL. I'm not opposed to Nick Cross, and I like Nick Cross when you watch the tape. Yeah. If you really, all these guys, I dug into the numbers, the metrics, and the fact that they said that the one concern of theirs was his missed tackle rate was way too high for a safety who's signed solely to tackle, which is the only thing that was kind of a red flag to me. But like you said, Sean, if the Bears could get him in the building and Dennis Allen thinks that's something he could fix, something he can work on and get better at, I'm all for it, man. Look, like I said, Sean, you have to sacrifice money somewhere, guys. You cannot sign the best player at safety, the best player at defensive end, the best player at defensive tackle, the best player at center, and the best player at left. You can't. You just can't. You don't have the money. So the Bears are going to have to find guys where they're going to have to play the Ryan Poles game, where they sign guys solely based off their athletic makeup, and they have to make them play better than they played in the past. It didn't work out for Deo, unfortunately, but maybe it would for Nick Cross, and maybe he can get that missed tackle rate down, and everything else he does very well. So
yeah, and I mean,
I'm one of the only guys that it didn't work for. They actually developed, I think, nearly everybody else on this roster.
Yeah, for sure.
Profit's with me. He said he'd take Cross over Brisker. I'm looking at the 133 tackles per year. I mean, this guy's everywhere on the football field. Missed tackles, obviously, they're going to have to work maybe on his angles or how he rotates down to the line, or maybe I don't know. I'd have to look a little bit more into the missed tackle rate, but the guy is averaging 133 tackles over the past couple of years, which means he's still getting it done. I don't know. I want to get younger. He's only asking for $6.1 million per year. This was again over the cap. I think it's called over the cap. The numbers that they put out, who knows what he's actually asking for, but it does seem like I actually put something together for this. Why am I trying to pick it off my freaking brain right now? The safeties, the projected numbers for the safeties, Reed Blankenship 7.1. Nick Cross would be the second highest one at 6.1. Then you got Rodney Thomas. I think someone was that you, Kyle, who mentioned Rodney Thomas.
The second highest, I think, would be Donovan Wilson, if I'm not mistaken.
I didn't have him on my safety list.
Yeah, you got him
right there, 6.9 mil.
Oh shit. Sorry. Oh, I put that out of order. Man, I thought I put this in order. Whatever. Donovan Wilson. But what he would still be up there. But again, when you're talking about a safety in Dennis Allen's defense, being the disruptor, playing the disruptor role is probably one of the more critical roles to the success of his defense. If he feels like this is a guy who can do it and he can coach him at 25, and you pair him with Al Harris, and you're only paying $6 million a year, maybe it's a shot you take. Kyle, I said that I also liked Elahi Gilman. What did you have on him?
Elahi Gilman. Real quick, guys, while I'm looking this up, how do you guys feel about Reed Blankenship? Because Slimbo Boogie disagrees with me. And Slim, I totally understand. I respect your opinion, man. It's just for me personally, the guy who's asked for the most money, who just doesn't, I feel like he was the weak link in that Eagles defense. I'm not a big fan of signing a guy who's asking for that much money, who's probably closer to the middle of the pack. But what do you guys think, man?
I think if you're looking for a veteran, you have one on your squad right now that you could sign. And then I think Sean's right. You go for a young. We do definitely need, I know I keep preaching young players, but we still do need some of these veterans on the team that, I know Reed Blankenship was a leader on the Phillies secondary, but like I said, we have that guy already, on our team. And I think he's expensive, but not that expensive. I know his interceptions were high, but Kevin Byard's other numbers weren't like all that great. But I think he is a very solid presence, and I think he is a very smart player. If you watch how he breaks and fools quarterbacks into throwing interceptions, it's pretty spectacular. And he's been doing it his whole career. I think, though, and I'm hoping that, Al Harris and DA, I'm hoping these guys know exactly what they want and where to get them. I know we only had one offseason here, so hopefully we can get a little bit better. Last year, we focused a little bit more on offense than we did defense. I mean, who did we bring in really just besides Deo? It was Deo.
Grady Jarrett.
Oh, and Grady Jarrett. There you go. So we really didn't do much on that side, and now we have to do a lot.
They extended Edwards as well, but yeah, coming outside of the building, they didn't do much at all. No, Sean, I like Alohi Gilman. He's the Raven safety. He had a 70.4 PFF rating. He was ranked 24th out of 98 safeties. He's certainly serviceable. He's definitely a good player. He just also had a very high missed tackle rate. But like I said, Sean, maybe that's something they can fix.
And maybe your disruptor role safety is picked at 57. If you look at Dane Bugler's latest draft board, he had the Bears at 25 taking Peter Woods, and at 57 taking AJ Housley, which I would actually – that to me, you hit 2 home runs right there. We're going to talk about Peter Woods in a little bit because I am starting to fall in love with Peter Woods. Like falling in love with this guy as an Aaron Donald kind of Jalen Carter type disruptor in the middle. We'll get to that in just a little bit because I got a lot to say about Peter Woods, and I'll be dropping his profile tomorrow.
Yeah,
he's a physical specimen. Yeah,
Prophet says amazing, dude.
Prophet says didn't work out for Dale's first year. He isn't dead. Yeah, Prophet. The reason you can ask Sean and Jason right here. I never liked Dale. I didn't like the signing when they made it. I thought it was a bad signing when they made it. To me, all he did was prove me right. That maybe he comes back and is better next year, but he's certainly not going to. Even now, if he came back next year and had a really good year, he is already not worth the money you've given him due to the injury and the fact that he wasn't really that good when he was playing. So that already is a bad contract for me personally. You lost a year from him. It's already.
Yeah, I don't think the Bears are going to bring in a free agent defensive end. I'm just telling you guys, I don't see it.
Well, you heard out of Ryan Pohl's mouth, guys. He said it. He said, I'm not going to spend a ton of money in this defensive line. Yeah, he said it.
Because he already has. He can't. Like you can't spend another $100 million.
That's what you said earlier, Jason. You already said it. Like you can't put $300 million in a 3 pass rusher, especially when one of them's not that good.
And get 12 sacks out of 3 of them. Like, you can't do that.
No, it's just not. It's not feasible, man. And if the Bears are going to do something at the defensive end position, they have to find a way to get one of these guys out of here, man. I don't know who would take that Dale contract. I don't think there's a lot of teams.
After next year, they may take it.
Yeah, you can. Well, next year you can dump them, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, what's going to be interesting about this is the contracts that get restructured here over the next couple of days because it's got to have to happen here over the next 5 days. Yeah. So to actually see what kind of money we have, because much like last year, I expect the center to, if not be the first signing, one of the first signings, because hey, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think that this just jumped the priority list for the Chicago Bears. And my only question, and I don't know what you guys feel about this. Do you guys think that Caleb Williams would be involved? Hey, do you like Tyler Biotis? Do you like Connor McGovern? Do you like X or Z or Y? Do you think they bring Caleb Williams in on this?
He may be, but I don't know how much like tape and scouting he's doing on opposing centers, though. You know what I mean? He's probably focusing more on defense. I'm sure he probably knows the guy and knows of him, but they might sit down and watch tape and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this guy?" I don't think it's just going to be a blank. Hey, man, who do you want at center? Okay.
Me personally, I think it's going to become it's all going to be up to Ben Johnson. I think he knows what kind of scheme he wants to run. He knows how much he wants to run the ball, how much he wants to pass the ball. He knows exactly what he's trying to do day in and day out. And I think he's going to try to find a center that fits that scheme best, even if it's not the guy we all think is the best. Yeah, I think there's some guys who he might just think fit. You guys, we've seen really good players fail in certain cities because they just don't fit the roster.
Yeah. Jonah Jackson.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I have a couple of free agent names to throw at you guys or possible trade pieces and want to get your guys' opinion, chat your guys' opinion as well. Did you guys have anything else on the safety situation before we turn the page?
The only thing I'll say, Sean, is with the list of free agent safeties, the guy I still would want the most, to me personally, is Kevin Byard. I think he's just this guy. He's just always consistently taking the ball away. He's a ball hawk, man.
Kyle, he's done it every year.
He's 6 interceptions every year.
When you think about it, Byard, you're pairing Byard with maybe Cross because they do.
That would be awesome.
That would be very good. That would be ideal.
Or Sean, for me. And if you bring Byard, I mean, we talked about how many. And Sean, we talked about the other day on the phone was maybe they decide which one they sign, the strong safety or free safety, based off of the availability in the draft.
That could be
like, hey, let's there's not enough free safeties in the draft, so let's sign Byard. Or there's not enough good strong safety in the draft, so let's sign Nick Cross and we'll find a free safety in the draft. I think that probably is going to be very important to them as well because you guys, we went over the safety draft class. There's a lot of damn good safeties in this draft, man.
There is a lot of good safeties.
And safety is one of the positions that I think the transition to the NFL is easy. Any of those guys who spend their entire career playing backwards. They're all running. They have to run backwards, corners, safeties, linebackers. I think those transitions are the easiest because that's so tough to do in itself. Did you guys see at the Pro Bowl when they're asking?
You also get a chance to watch the play develop before it comes to you. You know what I mean? You're not developing.
Did you guys see at the Pro Bowl when they were asking all the players, hey, what do you think the toughest position in the NFL is? And almost every single player said cornerback. Almost every single one was that corner is the toughest. Those guys have to play everything backwards. They have to do everything backwards. I think that's partially why it's the easiest transition because they're just mastering that skill in itself is tough. So once you do it anywhere at a high level, you can basically do it, play it. You can do it anywhere. And let's face it, man, the corners and safeties that are drafted, you guys look at the year that Nick Worry had. Did that guy look like a rookie to you? No. Look at the year Kyle Hamilton had when he was drafted. Did he look like a rookie to you?
And to profit here, Emmanuel Warren might be that guy this year. He could be. Yeah, he had a great combine as well.
It's just like Sauce Gardner. Did he look like a rookie to you? Devin Witherspoon. Did he look like a rookie to you? I think in corner, the secondary transition is much easier than like a line.
I think too. I think Slim, you're a little high. I think it's going to be 2 years, around 15 million. For Kevin Byard.
Yeah, because of his age, I think.
Yeah, because of his age. 12 million. I'll tell this right now. I don't give a shit how many interceptions you got. You're paying the safety $12 million. I'm going to say no, thank you.
Romy says, oh, damn, I thought Drew Dalman was on the show.
He's our special guest. We brought him on to shit on him for an hour.
Profit. Maybe outside of a soccer goalie or a really important piece to a baseball offense, I think corner is probably the toughest position to play in all of sports.
J2K, stick around because we're going to get into some. I'm going to throw some names out here, risers and fallers, and in a few minutes, I want to get through this free agent class and possible trades.
Sorry, man. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh no worries. First off, Bobby Okereke, we talked about him. He was the team's Walter Payton Man of the Year, amassed 385 tackles in 3 seasons with the Giants, 143 last year. He gets the head start in free agency.
Sean, does it worry you? Does it worry you a little bit that they're letting him walk and they're really interested in Tremaine?
Well, when you look at his numbers,
talent.
When you look at his numbers, he was a 56.3 overall grade, 45.5 against the run. Better in pass grade and better in coverage. 24th out of 88 linebackers and 38 out of 88 in pass rush. Towards the bottom in run defense, he only had 1 sack, 37 assisted, 103 solo tackles. So he does fly around the field. Doesn't
He's
sound
28 or 27?
He's 29.
29.
But doesn't that sound like somebody would be trading to the Giants? Javi Oakley? Doesn't get the interceptions though.
Yeah, I mean, you can't spend as much money in the position. So I think Okikri is probably worse than Tremaine Edmonds, but you can't pay Tremaine Edmonds. So it would make sense if the Bears are like, hey, we have to let the $17 million guy go, and we need to sign the guy who's probably going to get 6, 7, 8. Like, yeah, I mean, is he a terrible option? No. And Sean, what did you talk about a lot last season that the Bears couldn't cover?
Tight ends.
Yeah, I think he would help you big time. Oh, guys, we have a new joiner here, man.
Hey,
Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike's in the house. What's up, Dr. Mike? The guy on the top right looks like Urlacher. All right. We got Urlacher in the house. We got Dalman in the house. We're rocking tonight, boy.
Yeah, we got Dalman and Urlacher on the show today.
Dr. Mike, thanks for joining the show, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Mike. Really appreciate it. Hold on. Let me get you. This is for you, doctor. It's for you, doctor.
Hey, Mike, if you're a doctor, give us your take on Ozzie Trapello, man.
Yeah, please. Yeah. That ruptured patella tendon. The next guy I wanted to ask you, because I know a lot of people are just they want him, and I'm sorry, I just don't.
John, does it have anything to do with J2K's post comment right here?
What does he say?
Yes. Bring back Mac.
I'm sorry, guys. A 35-year-old who hasn't had double-digit sacks in several years, played 12 games last year, injured the year before. He wants 1 year, $21 million right here, pal. No, I'm good.
1 year, $7 million, yes.
Yeah, that's why I thought that's what he was looking for, like 8, 9 million. I'm like, I'd be all right with Mac coming back, but dude, 21 million for Khalil.
That's what I read, man.
Who the fuck are you, Khalil Mack? Are you kidding? How much money did you already steal from the Chicago Bears? I mean, the guy played like 65% of the games when he was here. Like, he ate up like 48 million in dead cap, and now you want to come back here for Slim Bo Boogie says he'll get 18 million. That's still way too much for.
That's way too much, Mack, dude. Man.
That's insane.
He's 35. He had 35 tackles and 5.5 sacks and only played 12 games. And I think he had a 4-sack game, didn't he? Which means he wasn't doing shit the rest of the 12 games.
Wasn't it like a 6-sack game?
No, because that was the year before. He only had 5.5 last year.
Yeah, apparently he's only good if it's like the shittiest tackle in the history of football that he's.
Hey, J2K, I love you, man, but hell no. Keep Khalil Mack the hell away from me at that price.
J2K is saying he's hearing 15 to 17. Jay, don't you think that's still way too much, man?
Yeah, way too.
I mean, that's Deo. Deo gets 7 sacks a year, bro.
And just for fun, since the Crosby rumors are holding up, when we traded for Khalil Mack and we gave up those first, the third, and the sixth, the Raiders wound up getting Josh Jacobs, Damon Arnett, Brian Edwards, and traded that sixth to the Jets. The Bears used their picks in return on Cole Kmet and one guy by the name of Arlington Hambright. Yeah, never heard of him. He was a 7th round
boost
tackle, I believe.
Sean. Real quick, we got a new joiner in the chat here. Ball Out says there's no way Khalil Mack is asking for that. I hope not. If he is, whatever he's smoking, I would love him to send some of that shit to me.
I'll double check right now.
He might be one of those free agents that sticks around until like right before training camp, and somebody's like, "All right, well, fine, we'll sign you because now you want the $7 million."
Yeah, Ball Out. Thanks for joining the show, man. Yeah, maybe that would be. I could see that, Jason. We're like, it's just about the end of free agency and nobody's signed him yet. So he's like, you know what? I'll take anything. Like, I'll play. Then I would take him. And I've heard that Khalil Mack did say he would take a pay cut to play for the Bears because he loved being here. But even still, a pay cut at $21 million is 15. I'm not paying him.
So I just Googled it, and it says he is looking for a 1 year, $18 million contract.
That's still way too much, man.
Yes,
way too much.
So I thought I read somewhere 21 million. I don't give a shit. 21, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. That's too much for a 30-year-old who can't stay on the goddamn field.
Cliff says no more Mac, no way. Better choices available. I agree with you 100%, man. 100%.
Now again, I go back to Quay Walker. He's a guy I wouldn't. He's projected at $8 million. He's a guy I would personally. You guys may agree or disagree. He's a guy I'd personally take a chance on, based on him working with this coaching staff.
Well, the interesting about him is I don't know exactly what Dennis Allen would ask him to do in this defense. Like, would he be like a pass rusher? Or would he be more of a traditional linebacker? Like, he has the body style type to play basically anything. But you're thinking he would be a pass rusher, Sean? I'm assuming, like a NASCAR kind of guy.
Yeah, he could be.
I mean, if that's the case and they think that he could help the pass rush, I'm all for it. But realistically, the Bears need to really start thinking about the defensive tackle position. We've talked about this a million times, right, guys? The defensive ends will only get better if you can create pressure up the middle and that quarterback can't step up all the time. The Bears have to find a way.
We've said it before. Yeah, you're right. If we get a good stud defensive tackle, whether it's a rookie or somebody from free agency, I think that makes Sweat and Dale both look better. I think it makes Austin Booker look a lot better. Because now you can't double team 3 guys, right? It's just not possible. It's hard enough to double team 2. Somebody's getting home, and if we can create pressure up the middle, it's just gonna make everything else better for everybody else.
Maybe things are falling in the Bears' lap because Sean said there's a guy in the draft that he thinks he compared to Aaron Donald a minute ago. If that's the case,
we're gonna talk about that here in just a minute.
If that guy's that good, Sean, was it Woods you were talking about?
Yeah, Peter Woods.
If he's that good, then go get him.
I'll tell you this, dude. I
agree with Jason. Even you could a guy like that could even make Dale better, bro.
I liked Peter Woods, and I finished his profile yesterday. Mostly, it's almost done, and I really, really dove into him, and I was just like getting inside. And I'm going to share some of these numbers with you guys shortly. This dude is stupendously amazing. Like, his numbers are off the freaking chart, man. Like, I was blown away at how good his numbers actually are. And it does look like it could translate. And when you look at a guy his size, you're looking at an Aaron Donald. Because
Sean, he's built like it. He's not fat and chunky and he's a man.
Sean, you got tape on him in there?
Oh, yeah, I do. We're going to throw some Peter Woods out.
Yeah.
We want to do that right now or finish up these free agents?
I would love to see him right now, man.
Yeah, let's see him right now.
Peter Woods?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk Peter freaking Woods then, boys. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Peter Woods. First off, I want to show you guys because this was impressive because he was a worker. He came into the combine this year. He weighed 298. Last year, he was 310. Look at how this boy slimmed down.
Yeah.
He put in the work. He's still a massive man, dude.
He kind of looks like Jalen Carter.
Dude, right? I mean, Peter Woods, man, he might be the guy. And when you start looking at run stop numbers all time, look at the company that he's holding. Peter Woods is with Mason Graham, Grady Jarrett, Jalen Carter, Quinlan Williams. These are top players. Norman Lott hasn't done much yet. Mason Graham turned it on towards the end of the season. And then you start, that's the wrong one. Peter, comparing overall production since 2015. Look at the names on this list, the company he's keeping. Jeffrey Simmons, DeForest Buckner, Jonathan Allen, Mason Graham, Grady Jarrett. That is insane, the company he's keeping. These numbers that he put up, his production in college, is something people have to take into consideration because of the people on those lists that he is with. He's blowing my mind. Hold on. Where did Peter Woods go? Here we go. We got Peter Woods right here, man. He takes on double teams. There's a couple of plays in these highlights where he just throws his defender to the side.
Right
there's
there.
one. Yeah, there's 2. He just took 2 defenders off. Like, dude, get out of my way. He's taking 2 defenders on right now and getting after the run and making the play. I mean, this dude is a disruptor, man. Like a disruptor. He came out and he came out to the draft, and I love a couple of his quotes that he had inside of the draft. He goes, "I'm a disruptor. You don't know where I'm going to line up, but you're going to respect it." He goes, "I'm the type of guy that causes offensive coordinators to lose sleep at night." He said this on the podium. These 2 quotes, these are 2 quotes I took out of listening to him at the podium. Like, man, this guy's telling you right now he's going to fuck you up, and I love it. 88.6 run defensive grade, 16.3% run stop rate. He's a stalemate and wins at the line to scrimmage consistently. Explosive pass rushing upside, 27% win rate and true pass set rates, 11.43% in pressure rate. He's got bull rush, swim, rip arms. He used to be 310 pounds, but he got a little quicker at that 298 that he came in. 3 years of meaningful snaps at a Power 5 program, and for me personally how much that means. Scheme versatility, he's lined up at 3T, 1T, defensive end in a 3-4 and a 4-3 defensive tackle. He's a true 3-down defensive tackle, and again, he can play anywhere. I don't know about playing 4-eye consistently, but he can play 3-tech, 1-tech, be a true nose tackle for you. This guy, for me, is exactly what the Chicago Bears need. He does have a couple of weaknesses, but nothing for me that blows me off, that says I don't want this guy. Coming in 30 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. His production did go down in 25 under new defensive coordinator Tom Allen, who ran a stunt-heavy scheme, which prioritized slants and to free up linebackers and DBs, limiting Woods' one-on-one rush opportunities. But when you watch the tape, you still see the elite disruption that he causes on the line. So Peter Woods is getting closer and closer to me if he's there at 25, and I don't know what the chat's saying.
John, they're agreeing with you. So J2K said he was asked to play far more nose tackle last year, and his tape wasn't as good. But if you watched the year previous when he was 3 technique, he looked really good.
Well, yeah, he's right. He does look fatter when he's playing the edge out there. I think that's when he was heavier, and he was playing a lot more edge, and then he lost weight. He's playing more nose tackle. It's weird.
Yeah, Slimbo Boogie says Peter Woods benched 499 or 490 pounds. That's insane. Ball Out says he's young too. So these guys are all agreeing with you, man. Yeah, Romy, we talked about that earlier, man. Connor McGovern and signing it for center and for the Bears. We all agreed that it would be a good move for them. I think we all agree that all 3 of the free agent centers would be a really good move for the Bears. It just depends on how much money you like spending.
It's value. Yeah.
He squatted 700 pounds. Jesus, dude, this guy's
dude. I'm telling you, and I wrote it in my profile that I'm going to drop tomorrow. This dude is like an Aaron Donald, Jalen Carter to me. We'll see. I believe his skill is transferable to the NFL. I really do. I think this guy's an absolute animal, man.
Sean, me, all 3 of us, and Bruce.
Sean, what do you think about this? Ball Out says, I honestly don't think he falls to 25. Do you think there's a chance he doesn't make it to the Bears?
I don't know, man, because Dane Bugler's latest mock, he fell to 25. He's falling to 25, and because of his size and the weight that he lost and the dip in production from 24 to 25. So will he be there? I don't know. But Dane Bugler, who is one of my favorite guys, I don't watch McShay. I don't watch stupid Mel Kiper. Those two guys.
Bugler's a former scout. That's why.
Nobody watches Mel Kiper, bro.
No, I love Dane Bugler. If Bugler thinks that he can be there for the Bears at 25, I'm going to say I think he could be there at 25. I don't know.
Mikey's asking about the competition he faced. James Wood says he also agrees he will not be there at 25. He believes he'll go to the Vikings or the Chargers. That would
if he goes to the Vikings, dude, I'm going to fucking cry.
Of course. But, it sounds like if he does fall to 25, it's kind of a blessing in disguise because when he was at the 3 technique 2024, everybody in here is agreeing that he was an absolute animal. And then his production fell off a little bit in 2025. Hopefully that helps us. He helps him fall to the Bears at 25 because people are concerned about last year's tape.
Yeah.
And then you move him to 3 technique and keep him there. And he plays like he did in 2024. And you maybe have got one of the best players in the draft.
Yeah. And he comes from a Power 5 school, Mikey. So he's playing top competition, throughout the season. That him and God, why can't I think of? I'm going to shoot myself in the face. I cannot think of Clemson's head coach's name right now. He's freaking famous and he's a top coach in the league. God damn it!
But, shit! Yeah,
I know, dude. I it's like on the tip of my tongue, and I cannot think of his name right now. He's a fantastic coach. Gosh, someone help me in the chat because this is going to drive me absolutely nuts right now.
Dabo Swinney.
What? Who? Oh, yeah, Dabo Swinney. Thank you, Dabo. Yeah, he comes from a fantastic system, fantastic coaching staff, Power 5 school. And again, Kyle, Jay, anyone on this channel can tell you how that means a lot to me. I love to draft players that play solid, great competition against other NFL players. smaller school guys, I don't mind them.
Yeah, Sean's always been a big school guy. Sean, Lee Hunter is another guy that people are talking a lot about. And then J2K says, Sean, I've been reading your draft write-ups. They're excellent, very detailed, impressive. So keep it up. I'm reading them.
Thank you, J2K, man. I really appreciate it, dude. I really do, man.
Sean, it's actually his 12-year-old daughter that writes those up. Don't be so impressed.
Yes, she does. She does a really good job. She's advanced. She's like a Doogie Howser.
Sean, ball out says trade up for him? Question mark.
I mean, if you want to jump up like 2 or 3 spots, I don't know if I'm opposed to it, but I wouldn't go up too high for him.
Here and Romy puts in Caleb Banks. I like Caleb Banks, but because of Caleb Banks and I had set to go over Caleb Banks and how he destroyed the combine this past week because he absolutely put on an athletic freak show. When you talk about athletic freak shows, just go look at Caleb Banks at the combine because holy shit was he impressive. And I was telling this to Kyle, man, when I watch these dudes, okay, so you had Mike Washington at the combine, who is a 6 foot, 220-pound running back running a 4.3 40. Then you look at these big guys like Caleb Banks, who's pushing over 300 pounds, Peter Woods, who's 300 pounds, and they're running sub 5 to 5.40s. I don't even know how to put in context how impressive that is, dude. To be 7/10 slower than a freaking running back, that is.
John, you want to put it in context? That's like getting hit by a mid-sized sedan. That's how you put it in context. Real quick, I think I've seen this guy here before. Sith, he says, Davo, I appreciate you joining the show, man. Thank you so much for being here. Sean, James says the only player I'm trading up for is Sonny Style. All out says
I didn't say trade up for anybody, number one, but I would trade my entire draft to get Sonny Styles. Can we pull a Mike Ditka? Oh
God!
You guys, I think
so many needs.
No, we don't. We have too many needs to do it. I'm messing around.
It's also situational, right? Like ball out says, like if you're there at 22 and Woods is still there, then maybe you trade up because it's not going to cost that much, you know. Like, if you're trading up for a guy like Sonny Styles, that's going to cost you your entire draft.
I agree with you, Cliff. I watch these big guys at the combine, and I watch these like one-on-one drills at the Senior Bowl practices and the East-West Shrine practices, and they just blow my mind. And this is why the quarterback position's changing because these 3 techs, these 1 techs now, these nose tackles, they're so much more athletically inclined than they were 5 to 10 years ago. They are almost as fast as running backs. I mean, you have running backs running 4.5s. These guys are running 4.9s. It's crazy how athletic and how impressive these guys are on film, and it's gonna make the game so much. It's gonna make quarterbacks like Caleb Williams so much more valuable. A guy who can elude pressure like that, be elusive like he was. I mean, even though Myles Garrett got to him, and I believe only in the first game when Micah did play, I think he only had 1 sack. And they both could have had more, but it was that elusiveness that took over and avoided those situations. And you're going to continue to see this in these quarterbacks. I think the era of Peyton Manning or an Andrew Luck that sits in the pocket and just tries to pick the defense apart with these faster middle of the line guys, I think it's going by the wayside personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, I wish, Slim. That would be I don't think that's enough to get the number 2 pick in the draft, but it would be awesome if they could find. I think we're all on the same page that if there's the Bears.
I think Vegas should take Styles at 1. I don't think they should be drafted. Next year's quarterbacks are way better than this year's. They should just eat it. They're not going to do much this year anyways.
I'm with you, Jay. I honestly, I said it before any of this shit happened that Sonny Styles was the purest and best talent in this draft, and all he did is went to the combine and made me look like a freaking genius.
I'm with you. Some of these guys in the chat are saying that they care more about the tape than they do the combine. I agree with you guys 100%.
Oh, I agree.
It is impressive what these guys do. Yeah, but we've seen guys who got to the combine, didn't really hear much about 100%. Them in the play college, and then they got drafted because of their combine numbers, and they weren't really that good. Sometimes it just doesn't transition to the field,
Sometimes it does, though. I mean, I think Zach Vaughn had a really good combine, I believe.
What's up, John? Thanks for joining the show, man.
You know who didn't have a good combine? David Bailey. And I keep seeing he had the worst like agility drill, he kept falling. It's like, dude, running side to side, he couldn't stay on his feet. I'm like, dude, that's your job. What is wrong with this guy? I would steer clear away from him. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I mean, you can't run side to side without falling on your face, dude. Like, I have 2 broken feet and I can run side to side without falling on my face. Jesus Christ. And speaking of, anybody in the chat here, throw out some series and some shows that you guys have watched that are great. Jay, I have some of yours. I'm about to have surgery tomorrow, and I'm going to be laid up for almost a month where I got to be on my ass. So I need a lot of TV to watch. so guys, send me some stuff. Send me some shows that you guys are all interested in, and I'll check some stuff out if you guys want. That would be helpful.
I know you like Punisher, man. You should watch all of the Daredevils.
Like, you know what? The new Daredevil is on my list because I have not seen it, and I'm gonna go back and watch the last 3 episodes of the last series because I vaguely remember it at this point.
Sean's gonna be like 22 draft profiles on 4-star scouts.
Oh, dude, there's gonna be so many.
It's gonna be like 168.
I got nothing to do, boys.
It'll be Sean Lugo's the Beast.
Sean, you're getting some feedback here. Steve says White House Down. Mikey says House of Dragons. Steve says Draft Day.
All right, I'm gonna be watching all.
There's tons of sports documentaries, dude, on Netflix. I think it's man. There's a whole series of them. They did tons of them, and I forget. I always tell Keith over at River Street. Untold. Okay. On Netflix, and just pick and choose. Like I didn't watch the Bruce Jenner one, but there's like the hockey one is great. There's one on the NBA refs and how corrupt they were back in the 80s. The guy that got caught, just great.
It's called Untold. Severance. Someone else told me about Severance too. I might have to check that one out.
Have you watched The Lincoln Lawyer?
I am finished with The Lincoln Lawyer. I love The Lincoln Lawyer.
That was really good.
Absolutely upset that I got to wait a whole year for the next season.
It was really
I
good.
love The Lincoln Lawyer, man. It is a great series, Jay. You should check it out. I think you'd like it a lot. See, there's another I got to check out the Severance because this is like 5 or 6 people now that have said Severance. My mother-in-law of all people were like, dude, have you watched the show Severance?
Which one is that? Is that the one where they have like a chip
I
in
heard
their
it's
brain?
really twisted.
They have a chip in their brain, and when they go to work, they forget who they are on the outside.
It's something along that. Something along those lines. I don't know too much about it, so I'm going to have to check it out and see if it's in my wheelhouse.
You guys, Slimbo Boogie says draft one of these safeties, the white guys.
The white guys. Gotta love the white guys. Yeah, Dylan Thieneman might have put himself up way too high for the Bears in this at the combine.
Yeah, I was actually reading something about him today that said he's projected to go before.
He's
20.
really good.
I don't know anything. I haven't really watched enough of his tape, but a lot of people think he has moved himself up quite a bit. I like Michael Taff a lot, dude. I like him a lot, dude.
I'll give you guys another guy, and I talked about him when we did defensive tackles as a sleeper of mine in this draft. And I really want to thank Mr. Caleb Proctor for going to the combine and not making me look like a complete boob, because he went into this as a 7th round, possibly undrafted free agent. And look at what this kid did. And I know it's a small school, boys and girls, not usually my cup of tea, but when you watch this guy's tape, you kind of get those. It kind of makes you feel real good inside. You know what I mean?
You think it's weird that a tackle didn't want to do the bench press?
Oh, he didn't? I didn't see that.
You guys, real quick, Sean, not to cut you off, but I haven't ever. We've seen a ton of Erics. I don't know if we've ever seen this one before. Eric 41038 says thoughts on what you think the Bears are going to do at linebacker. I think the Bears are definitely going to re-sign DeMarco Jackson, and they're probably going to end up drafting one somewhere in the middle of the rounds, probably 3 or 4 is my guess. There's a pretty damn deep class of linebackers. I mean, that kind of just depends on how the draft plays out, right, Eric? If a guy like Rodriguez is still available in the 2nd round.
I like Drew Bowery. I just actually started looking at him a little bit. But I'm Proctor, dude. He went from 275 at the Senior Bowl to 291 at the NFL Combine. But that guy's been at McDonald's eating some burgers. But the Southland Conference Player of the Year, 43 tackles, 13 for loss, 9 sacks. He posted the second fastest 40 dash time at 4.79 seconds and the second fastest 20-yard shuttle at 4.17 seconds, according to Next Gen Stats. His top speed of 20.95 in the 40-yard dash was tied for second fastest for defensive tackles since 2023. He had a 33 vert, a 9.5 broad jump, 33-inch arms, fourth fastest, as I just said, fourth fastest speed in the last 4 years. This kid looks like he could be a late round draft pick, 5th or 6th, that could come in and be a rotational piece. He's obviously got the heart and the passion to continue to grow as an NFL player or as a college player trying to get to the NFL, just putting on that weight in a couple of weeks from 275 to 291 to bulk up for this. Pretty impressive stuff, man. So keep an eye out on Caleb Proctor. We'll see what he does. The one thing I did want to talk about with you boys was this Caleb Downs thing that came out. Play the doctor really quick, and then I want to get your guys' opinion on what you do with him.
People think Caleb Downs' stock just tanked. Here's the math GMs are actually doing. Degenerative ACL probably implies a prior partial injury. If it fully tears, we replace it. Return to NFL rate, about 90% here. The partially torn meniscus doesn't tell you much because vast majority of tears are partial. Can trim it in a minor procedure with a relatively quick turnaround. Yes, data does show shortened careers, but we think it's a small tear given that he played every game, including logging 8 tackles and 2 forced fumbles in the playoffs. Minor concern? Yes. Deal breaker? No. Suspect this won't drop him too far on draft day.
Hey, by the way, did you notice all the Michael Jordan pictures on the doctor's back wall? That guy's the shit.
Yeah, most knee injuries, except for that patellar tendon, most knee injuries, they're bad, and in some cases, guys come back the same year or even the next year. Sometimes these guys come back just as good. So I'm not too worried about knee injuries as much anymore. My biggest fear would be maybe re-aggravating or re-injuring something like that. But to stay away from a football player because they have a knee injury, you're never going to have any football players on your team.
Well, yeah, and if you guys remember last year, almost the same exact thing happened to Will Johnson out of Michigan.
Yeah.
He was drafted by the Cardinals. He looked like an absolute badass last year. It didn't look like his knees are bothering him in any way, shape, or form. So, I hope that something like this would drop down to 25, and the Bears would draft him. I think he's going to be an absolute stud. I mean, Sean, where was Will Johnson projected to go before the degenerative knee issue that they talked about?
Yeah, but I think
he was projected top 10.
Didn't he still go top 15 though?
I don't think so. I think he went in the second round.
Did he?
I'm most positive he went in the second round.
I'll tell you this: if Caleb Downs falls to the Bears, man, I mean, this guy is a cross between Eric Weddle, Brian Branch, and Ed Reed. I'm taking this guy at 25 if he falls to the Bears. I think that's still a pipe dream, but.
His second round 2025 draft.
Round.
At one point, I think he was projected top 10.
He was a top pick. Yeah. You're right, man. Here, for me at 25, if Caleb Downs were to fall because of this knee issue, I'm with Kyle. I have no problems taking him at 25. None.
47th overall.
Yeah, you guys. Eric says, I agree. This is a great linebacker and safety class. I like Jackson and a rookie, that linebacker. I really like Rodriguez. I'm not sure I'll be there at 57. I would like Byard or a vet safety paired with a rookie. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be where you're going to have to go, Eric, just because you probably don't have enough money to sign 2 safeties. So you're probably going to have one of those guys come back. I'm assuming Byard, since you heard Ryan Poles gushing about him at the podium, and then you're going to have to pair him with a rookie safety. That's probably the way the Bears are going to end up going. But if you get a chance, Eric, go back and watch the beginning of the show. We talked about safeties a lot, man.
And last week's show, we actually went over all the, well, not all of them, but a lot of the rookie safeties we'd like to see the Bears sign.
Yeah, but ball out, you say the Bears should have taken Will Johnson. Who would you have liked him over, Luther Burden or Colston Loveland? Because both those guys look like they're going to be the focal points of the Bears offense for the next 10 years, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty
happy.
You
had Luther Burden, and then was it Shamar? I think we're up there. Those are the 2 guys around that number 47.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they took Shamar before Will Johnson. That might be right, Jason. I like what Flex says. He says at 25, the Bears can be open to anyone that falls to them. We have multiple holes to fill. Yeah, I think this will be like the broadest horizon Ryan Poles has ever had in the draft, right? Because this is outside of the years he was missing first round picks. This is the latest the Bears have picked with Ryan Poles, right? So I think you're gonna have to broaden your horizons a little bit. I mean, you could take a safety, you could take a linebacker, you could take a defensive tackle, you could take a defensive end, you could take a left tackle, you could take a center. Now, I don't think there's any centers worth taking in the first round of the NFL draft, but at this point, the opportunities are endless.
Yeah. I agree.
John S. says, relentless. They may have to sign Braxton Jones to a team-friendly deal with the situation they're in. I think Jason actually mentioned that very early in the show, guys. Like, it sucks because I don't think the Bears had any plans of replacing both left tackle and center positions. And I think if you ask them in week 12 last year, they thought both their left tackle and center positions were solved. But here we are, man. The NFL always throws curveballs, and the Bears got to figure it out.
And there's probably not a big market for him outside of the fact that he is just a left tackle, and teams will always take a left tackle with starting experience. I mean, he does have 2 or 3 years of starting experience under his belt, so he's not an absolute loss at that position. Not the answer either, but I don't think the Bears liked him as much. But if we could sign him for $3 or $4 million, okay. Stay another year, dude.
You got to have something, man. Somebody's got to protect Caleb's blind side. Ball out says Shamar Turner was drafted before Will Johnson. Yeah, in hindsight, ball out, I would much rather have had Will Johnson than Shamar.
Oh, yeah,
no disrespect to Shamar Turner, because I think that's kid's still going to be good.
Something.
Yeah, Will Johnson might be one of the best corners in football. I mean, based off of his rookie season, like I said, the transition to corner and safety is much easier than the transition to defensive line, but Will Johnson looked really damn good, man.
We're still going to see what Za Frazier looks like. Or
Frazier. Romy says, I still like trading 25 and 57 for the Jets 33 and 44. Yeah, I mean,
sure.
I guess that just depends on what's there when you're at 25, right? If there's nobody that you're absolutely in love with at 25, and you like two guys in the second round, yeah, 100%, Romy, I'm all for it. We've certainly seen Ryan Post do something like that before. He did a ton of it last year. So
he did it like 3 or 4 times last year in the draft.
And maybe if you give him 25, you get him back in the first round. Maybe Romy, maybe the Jets will give you throw their 7th in there too. Maybe they'll give you an extra pick.
Yeah.
Instead of just giving you two pick or a pick to move up in the second round, maybe they'll give you an extra pick. And if you go 33-44, you can certainly get Jacob Rodriguez, right? You would think.
Oh yeah,
that would be great
for sure.
Jacob Rodriguez.
I think the guy's going to be a stud, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, another guy that I love, defensive lineman, defensive tackle, out of Oklahoma, the Boomer Sooner, Grayson Holton. I would go take a look at this guy's combine, and again, we take it, but I've got to put tape in for him.
J2K makes a really good point. Sorry, Sean. He says, one thing I didn't think of when that trade is you're going to lose the 5th-year option because you're not drafting anybody in the first round. That's the only thing that would suck.
Yeah, well, your hope is that he hits and you sign him in that 3rd year anyways and extend him, and then you're fine.
Yeah, sure. If he's a good player, you want a second contract anyway, right? You should be getting a second contract on your 1st and 2nd round picks, which Ryan Post has not been good at here. But yeah, I'm not opposed to that trade at all. Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
No, it's just looking at some of these impressive numbers for Grayson Holton, man. This guy put up a 36.5 vertical jump. It's the 3rd highest of any D tackle at the combine in the last 20 years. His vert was higher than Garrett Wilson, Josh Gordon, DeAndre Hopkins, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Stephon Diggs. That is hell of impressive for a 6'2", 300-pound defensive tackle. He also was one of the fastest tackles just behind Caleb Proctor by 0.3 of a mile. They recorded the 2 fastest 40 times among defensive tackles over the past 4 years. The 3 fastest ahead of them were Kalijah Kancey. Kyle, you know how much I loved him. Your boy in LA Fisk. And these guys have all started over 20 games. This could be something. And Malachi Lawrence, another guy who blew the combine away, man. He was top 75, might have moved himself up just a little bit.
Sean Ballard says Grayson Holton is a beast, and Holton is the type of player that Dennis Allen loves.
Mm-hmm. And he's right now projected late 2nd round, anywhere from late 2nd round to the 4th round. With this good combine, I'd probably say late 2nd, maybe early 3rd. So Bears have to take him at 57, or they probably won't get him. I know we did a profile, and I can't remember which one of us did it, on Darrell Jackson Jr. He was another one who had a very, very impressive camp or combine, excuse me. And you guys touched on him a little bit, but we're gonna put on some tape, because I think that this guy might have gotten all of the family's skill. You guys heard of Bryce Lance, Trey Lance's brother? I know your brother brought him up on Monday.
Vernon talked about him on Monday a little bit.
Yeah. Watch this kid, dude. Watch this kid. He is impressive, dude. Like, really, really impressive. He catches with his hands down the field. gets good separation. Now, again, he's catching from the quarterback that the Bears had in Cole Payton. But, I mean, he has hands. He knows how to get separation away from the defender. He's great on the sideline. Look at this catch right here, man. Just hauling it in. This kid is unbelievable.
Maybe he'll play longer than his brother did.
Yeah, I think he has a chance to, because his skills are – I actually didn't know too much about him until I started, getting into him a little bit. Then I started watching this tape, and I was like, man, this kid is pretty damn good. And if you notice in a lot of this film, he's not doing this 1 foot college shit.
It's all 2 feet. Yeah.
Sean, it doesn't matter because they're
thinking about changing it.
Yeah, the NFL is going to become a 1 foot league, man.
Yeah,
that's dumb. They should make college 2 feet. The 1 foot rule, anybody can.
I agree.
1 foot.
So, Jason, there's a league, I think it's the UFL, that every year the NFL tests new rules in or rule changes in. And this year, the UFL is doing 1 foot only, like college. So a lot of people think that the NFL is probably steering that way. I don't disagree with you, Jason. I don't disagree with you. I think it should be both.
It makes the catch more difficult. It's something that's always been around.
Well, and then what do you make it? What is a knee like? It's just a knee was always 2 feet, right? A shoulder was 2 feet, an elbow was 2 feet, a hand was 2 feet.
I'm fine with everything else. Like a knee or an elbow is down, that's fine. But 2 feet in bounds, it's so much easier, and you can have a farther reach if you only need 1 foot in. You know what I mean? It's literally 2-3 inches.
And I love that the physical corners, when you go up for a 50-50 ball and the receiver, like Mike Evans goes up and gets it, that the physical corners can push him out of bounds, so he can only get 1 foot down. I love that part of the football. You're going to take that away.
You got to give the defense something, man. They got to be able to defend the pass somehow.
Yeah, they have every rule change the NFL has made over the last 10 seasons favors the offense. It's something people love defense, man. Defense sells tickets, man.
It can, yeah, when it's really good. It's
look
amazing.
Look at the AFC Championship game in the Super Bowl.
He's John Estes saying that McGovern's 2 inches taller than Dalman. He had problems seeing over Dalman, so that would make him. What's Caleb 6'1"? So
6'1". I didn't even think about that, John. That's a good point, man.
Yeah.
Guys, we got another joiner in the chat here. He says, Benjamin Williams, I think you've been here before. Yeah, he's been here before. He says, Drew Dalman retiring makes me mad, bro. Good. Ben, the three of us have been talking about this for the last 24 hours. It's absolutely heartbreaking, man. And that's an understatement. Heartbreaking. It's something that the Bears did right, finally. They got the best free agent center available in the NFL, and he retires.
Hey Steve, I wasn't saying the Bears were going to draft him. I was really impressed with Bryce Lance's tape when I watched it, so I figured I'd share it with you.
Well, if the Packers want him, he's probably not that good.
He'll drop a lot of balls.
He'll be open all the time. They won't give him the ball, a la Matthew Golden.
I'll tell you too. Another guy, 6'2", 216-pound, best route runner at the Senior Bowl, hammering a 4.3 40, 42-inch vert. Is Jeff Caldwell out of Cincinnati.
Steve, stop doing that, bro.
He doesn't have the best numbers, but very impressive. Again, very impressive. 99 percentile for the 40, 99 percentile for the split, 97 percentile for the vert, 98 percentile for the broad jump. I mean, this kid had one of the best combines ever adjusted for a wide receiver.
He looks huge.
Yeah, and the thing that's just concerning is his numbers. His numbers aren't like, they don't blow you away. He only had one 1,000-yard season in college. Last year, 32 receptions, 487 yards. But the year before that, 52 receptions for 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. His tape looks good. His numbers are a little puzzling, but he only spent 1 year at Cincinnati too. He transferred from a smaller school. I think Linscomb or some shit.
I don't know, but if the Bears are serious about trading DJ Moore,
look at that, there's this 93-yard touchdown.
If they're serious about trading DJ Moore, as I think they are, the Bears better start watching the tape for these guys as well, man.
Yeah. You know what? What do you want to do, boys, next week? You want to break down centers?
Well, you guys pretty much went over them. I mean, I don't think any of them are be drafted before the third round. I actually, Courtney Cronin said that on 670 today. She said none of these. I don't see a single center getting drafted before round 3. She said that.
You know what?
Like, so if the Bears want one in the draft, they're going to be available. They're definitely going to be available.
Dame Bugler put out that same sentiment. He said all the centers in this draft should go in between rounds 3 and 5.
So if the Bears want one, they're going to get one.
I hate to blow the guy, but he is so good at this draft shit. He makes Mel Kiper and Chad Mache.
I like what Mike said. I like what Mike said earlier. Like, forget all of our predictions and mock drafts because we're all gonna be wrong anyway. It's kind of a conundrum as to why even the professionals still do this, because it like Jason said, what 30% is like a really good mock draft.
Like the best person at it is this guy who's perennially like the best, and he only on the first round. He gets about 31% of the time, and they had him go up against some like AI bot, and that AI bot got like 30%. So it's really similar to like a baseball number. You're going to get like maybe 10 picks right.
Jay, I guess you're Vince Russo.
Hey, listen. Steve, I liked the Matthew Golden pick. I am confused as to how the Packers couldn't get him involved in the offense. It was actually he was on my fantasy teams. Like
I was going to say, Kyle, remember in the Big Money League, I drafted that piece of shit.
Yeah, like
he did nothing.
Sean, I don't think it was his fault though. If you watch, if you watch the tape, Matthew Golden was open a ton. For some reason, the Packers, Jordan Love just didn't want to get him the ball. I don't know. It does to me. He's like a much more athletic Jaden Reed. Like, he gets open. He's good in the flat. He's really good with turning short passes and the long pass. I don't know why he just didn't seem to be part of the Packers game plan. It's weird, man. It was really weird. He was one of the first receivers taken. I think the only 2 receivers taken before him were Tet and Ikbuka, right?
I was worried about Golden, and to see his numbers just was really, really puzzling.
Yeah, I think he scored his first touchdown in the playoffs against the Bears, right? That was his first touchdown of the season. I expected a lot of Matthew Golden. Steve, I'm not hating Matthew Golden. I actually like the guy. I just it didn't make sense to me how he didn't work out the Packers offense. Like, especially, you're throwing everything to Romeo Doubs, a guy who's probably not going to be here next year. And you should be getting Matthew Golden more involved in the offense. I mean, as a Bears fan, it made me happy, but it was puzzling. It was a conundrum.
Yeah, when he was drafted, I thought he was going to be another Bear killer. I'm like, oh, damn it.
J2K says he thinks he doesn't play as fast as he runs, and Burden was a much better player. I
agree.
Right now, if you look at the two, there's no doubt that Burden's the better player. Yeah. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the future? But
based on last year's stats,
and Burden looks special to me when he has the ball in his hand. He looks different. He always gains 4 or 5 yards after the catch. Always.
I promise you, next year, everyone's going to realize he has the quickest first step of any wide receiver in the entire NFL. I promise you, people will start telling you that because it's true.
I mean, you guys,
I'm not being a Bears fan. Watch his first step.
I think it was Dane Brugler himself who said his ceiling was Antonio Brown. I mean, if that's the case, he's a top 5 receiver in the NFL.
He's
please don't act like Antonio Brown, though.
No, please don't.
Be a psychopath. Yeah, it would be.
Hey, really quick.
Thanks, Mikey. We appreciate it, brother.
J2K, hey, Mikey, thanks, brother. We'll talk to you soon, man.
You fucking rock, Mikey. You fucking rock. Screw Drew Dalman. Hell yeah.
Last week, we hung up on the show, and him and I talked on the phone for like an hour and a half. J2K, really quick. A guy I'm going to drop really quick, and a guy who's a sleeper, but his metrics are lining up with Caleb Downs, Kyle Hamilton, and Brian Branch. Ahmad Moses, SMU safety. Watching this tape, I never even heard of this kid, but I watched him at the combine, and now I was like, man, I gotta look into this kid. Holy shit, this kid's good. Like, he's good, and no one's even heard of this kid. They might now after the combine, but that's kind of why I like the combine, because you just watch it and be like, oh, I never heard of that guy, but man, he's super athletic. He looks kind of special. Then you look at the tape and be like, wow. And then you start looking into shit and you're like, wow, this guy's being compared to him and him and him. Fuck, we're missing something here.
The drills to me are far more important than like some of the measurable vertical jumps.
Yeah, I agree.
It's great to see that stuff, right? You don't want a wide receiver with a 12-inch vertical. But watching him run a route, that's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the quarterback throw that deep ball in, with the receiver in stride, that to me says more than anything else.
Yeah.
Other than maybe the actual, game.
Well, and there is a translation. Like, you watch guys who were the great Christian McCaffrey. Had his combine was amazing, absolutely, and he ended up being one of the best players in the NFL. You watch Aaron Donald. This is amazing. He ends up being one of them. I mean, there's definitely a coordination, but I just don't. If you ask me to pick players solely based off of the combine or solely based off the tape, I'm taking the tape all day.
Yeah. It's the Underwear Olympics. That's why, honestly, that's why watching the East-West Shrine and the Senior Bowl, watching those 2 weeks tell you more than what the combine's going to tell you. Watching those one-on-one drills. My favorite part about those 2 weeks is watching the linemen go against each other on one-on-one drills, man. That is so fun. Like, I get a kick out of it, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, they should do more like Oklahoma drills. You want to see who's the toughest guy on the field? Let's see it.
I love Flex Diggs' comment right here. Flex, we've been talking about this all off season. It's finally the Bears are one of the best offenses in the NFL. Maybe in the first time in my lifetime we were top 10 offense, maybe outside of the Jay Cutler, Alshon Jeffrey, Bernard Marshall years. And it's like everybody in the world wants to get rid of all of our players. Like he says, I want continuity in the offense. I'd like to see most of our guys back actually knowing their assignments instead of learning them. That includes DJ. We should be competing for a Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, if you want to continue to grow this thing, most of these guys should be back, and you should be building off of the foundation you built last year, as opposed to let's draft a center, let's draft a left tackle, let's draft another receiver to place DJ Moore. You guys, that's going to take a long time for all those guys to fit in the offense. Colson Loveland's an absolute stud, freak of nature. It took him 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks.
That's because he had a small camp, right?
That's the biggest problem.
Camp, but he wasn't able to practice.
Yeah, like you can go get a receiver to replace DJ Moore, but expect Luther Burden results. And Luther Burden's a stud, but what do you have? 400 yards and two touchdowns? I mean, that's what you should expect.
Yeah, like 600 yards and 4 touchdowns.
It sucks. Like I understand that they're in a tough position with DJ Moore's contract, but I would like to see them grow and become exponentially a much better offense than they were like. If the Bears can average 33 points a game like Ben Johnson did Detroit, that's a tough team to beat, guys. If you can average 33 points a game, which means you're scoring
bad defense,
which means in most games you're scoring 40. A lot of games you're scoring 40, right? If you're averaging 33, that's a very tough team to beat in the NFL. It's tough to score 35 points in the NFL, man. That's tough. And if the Bears could do that next season, I think they could still win the division. I think they could still go deep, make a deep playoff run, because you can always outscore the other team, but you can't win if you don't score. So if I've said this in the past, and I'm going to stick to it, I'd like to see them complete the offense before they start working on the defense. So if they think there's a perennial Pro Bowl left tackle at 25, take them and go get the best free agent center to replace Drew Dalman. You did it last year. Do it again.
Yeah, 100%. I'm truly, I said this earlier, I'm going to say it again. I'm truly intrigued by what Stacey Dale said on the score and what the Bears are going to do over the next couple of days, whether it's the move of getting Max Crosby here or where DJ Moore ends up, what happens with Tremaine Edmonds. There's a lot of moving parts right now. I know that Ryan Poles has to sharpen up that pencil, figure this out, and earn his money and earn that title as GM this year. It's not as easy when you're sitting there with $100 million in the bank and you can buy whatever you want. Now you got to figure it out and make it work and stay that competitive team, because I'm going to tell you this right now. We're going to be a bunch of pissed off individuals if the Bears end up going against the first place schedule next year and have 5 or 6 wins, because this roster couldn't be put together because of past mistakes that the GM has made. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to judge anything until I see what happens.
Well, you just got to. You're not going to have as many offseason acquisitions this year, so you got to make them count. You got to make them count.
Yep.
You can't go sign a guy. You're like, he's not great, but he serves a purpose here. He's a rotational. But you got to add star. It's time for the Bears to start adding star power to this roster. You need star power, man. That's why I'm saying like 25. If none of the position of needs you love are there, like none of the guys there you love as a position of need, like maybe you're like, well, safety is the least important position to us on the defense, but the guy who's available to you 25 is the best safety in the draft, then take him. Like Downs falls to 25. Maybe he's not as important as a defensive tackle. It's the defensive scheme that Dennis Allen runs. But if you add star power every offseason, I promise you, sooner or later, this defense will play much better. Just keep adding studs all the time. The time. The Bears were for a team that almost made it to the NFC Championship game. You should have had more than 4 Pro Bowlers. Should have had more than 4 Pro Bowlers.
I agree.
And you know what? Nashon Wright barely slipped in there because somebody else didn't want to play. I mean,
I agree, ball out.
But next year, you expect Colston Loveland to be in the Pro Bowl. You expect Caleb Williams to be in the Pro Bowl. You expect John Tooney to be in the Pro Bowl every year.
I can't believe Caleb Williams wasn't in the Pro Bowl. That's just insane to me, but whatever.
Well, dude, I mean, you had to make room for for Shedeur Sanders type guys.
I still can't believe Shedeur Sanders made the Pro Bowl. It just backs up what I've always said.
Well, wasn't it Drake May who made it in his rookie season too? And listen, I like Drake May a lot. He's very good, but his rookie season wasn't worth Pro Bowl.
No.
Shedeur Sanders being an All-Pro is the most laughable thing.
Yeah, I think they slip guys in there. They want to be like the face of the NFL.
They want to be popular,
yeah. One of these days, Drake May could be the face of the NFL. So let's put him into the Pro Bowl with this shitty rookie season. Like, no,
and
it should be based off of merit, dude. It should be based off of your statistics or how many games you won, right?
I don't think it's going to be easy to win 11 games either, but I don't think it's impossible for this team if the right moves are made.
I'm also like the teams that Slim lists there don't really scare me. I mean, Seattle for sure scares the shit out of me because that defense, that's just the most complete roster in football. But
the Bills are beatable.
Yeah, the Bills are beatable, the Bucks are beatable, the Panthers are beatable, the Eagles are beatable, the Pats we beat the Eagles last year.
I was just saying we beat the Pats off the Eagles in Philadelphia.
Yeah, like all those teams right there are very beatable, except for I think Seattle's going to continue to be the best team in the NFL.
But here's the thing. It just depends how the roster is constructed now, because you need new safeties, you need new linebackers.
And Sean, maybe JSN tears his ACL week 1.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Then Seattle's not the best team in the NFL anymore.
Because I'm going to tell you this right now: if the Kansas City Chiefs, I'll give you a little insight. If the Kansas City Chiefs take Jeremiah Love with their pick, he's probably going to me at 5 in Boobs League. If no one takes him 1 through 4, which I doubt they will.
I think I'm 5.
The Bears are not going to be. Hang on a second.
Oh no, you're 5 on 6.
Underdogs against the Panthers on the road.
Yeah, the Panthers actually were pretty solid at home last year, but
but if you're the Bears and you're like, oh, we have to go to the Carolina next week, you're not like, chalk that one up, chalk that one up. That's a loss. Like if I'm the Bears, I'm like, hey man, we're having an opportunistic defense that takes the ball away. We're about to play Bryce Young. That's like I'd circle that one and be like, we should have 5 turnovers in that game there because Bryce Young loves to give the ball away, man.
Yeah, he's right though about all the others though. We will be road dogs against the Jags, the Pats, the Eagles, the Bucks, the Bills, and Seattle for sure.
I don't know about the Bucks. You think the Bucks, man?
Maybe.
Did the Bucks
see what they do?
Did the Bucks make the playoffs? No, they didn't make the playoffs.
They didn't make the playoffs, but you guys
they had a lot of bad injuries though.
I was just gonna say that, Jay. They
sure, and they got their offense coordinator back when they were firing on all cylinders. So I expect them to be better, but I mean, I think people are starting to take the Bears seriously because of Caleb Williams. I don't know if they're going to be road dogs to the Bucs. I don't know.
They won't have Mike Evans for the first time in how many years?
That's also something they're going to have to find. But they do have like Buka, Godwin, and McMillan. So I mean, it's not like they're still one of the best receiving cores in the NFL.
Boys and girls.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I'm ready, man. It's been a long day, dude.
It has. I have a huge day tomorrow. I'm looking forward to going to bed and waking up.
Good luck with your surgery, man.
Yes, sir, buddy.
Man. We'll endure this, and hopefully I see you all again.
What time do you think you'll be home? I'll call you.
Probably.
I'll text you because you'll probably be high on.
Yeah, Sean, call me when you wake up. I want to make fun of you for saying stupid shit because you're stoned as fuck.
I'll be saying, yeah, I'm gonna try and get that Peter Woods out before. Oh, you know what? I am sorry. Before we get out of here, I did have one more thing I wanted to touch on because once again in the world of sports, we had a tremendous loss. A gentleman who meant a lot to some local fans. I'm not necessarily like rah Notre Dame, but Lou Holtz was a coach that I grew up watching, and I did grow up rooting for him. You know, today we got the unfortunate news that Lou Holtz did pass away. The former Notre Damer, the guy who left him to the 1988 perfect season. And
it looks like he was 88 and 88. How old is that?
He had that 23-game winning streak, 11 seasons, 86 to 96, 132 with the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. And again, yes, of course, the 88 national championship. Perfect 12-0 season. Our thoughts and condolences from 4-Star Chicago Sports to the entire Lou Holtz family. Lou, rest in peace, sir. You deserve it. You're one.
They're going to name stuff after him in Notre Dame for sure.
Absolutely.
Dude, Romy's like the third person I've ever seen say this today. Everybody
you know what? I thought he was dead too.
Dude, a lot of people.
The picture, it looks like it was from '88, and he looks like he was 88. I don't know how.
Dude, a lot of the posts.
Are we sure he's actually dead? He might be a wizard. We don't know what's going on here.
A lot of the posts on Facebook, everybody in the comments was like, "Man, I thought that guy died already. Man, I thought that guy was dead.
I did too.
Really old. Like, man, that guy, he's been around a long time. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but
no, me either.
Nobody should. It sucks to see people pass away, but I think he had a pretty damn good life.
Oh hell yeah, 89 years old, man. I hope I make it to 89. I doubt it.
Yeah, and it was a college football superstar for a damn good life, man.
Dude, 100 wins,
brother.
100 wins over 32 losses, dude. That's freaking impressive, dude.
Well, he's a football legend for sure. College football legend.
Yeah, legend. I was just about to say that's legend shit right there. But all right, everybody, love you all, man.
Yep. Peace out.
Hey, really quick, don't forget tomorrow we got the late show with Brandon and Dustin. They'll be on at 11:30.
Yeah, but dude, it's late. I can't watch that late.
Then you should probably check them out on your way to work on Friday morning.
I always forget about that.
Yes, that's very important.
But Sean, what if he doesn't finish the entire show on his show?
There's rush hour. You should finish the show on your way back home.
Oh, right. Yep. And back. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat, we love you, man. We appreciate you guys. You guys have been absolutely amazing the last couple
Rami,
weeks.
you killed it today, buddy.
Yep.
Thank everybody. Thank you all, man. And keep checking out our Facebook page. Please go over to YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Bear down, and we will see you all again on the other side. Bear the fuck down.
Yeah.